It is week 10 of the high school football season, and we are at Shawnee Stadium as the Indians hosting the Kenton Wildcats. An intriguing matchup here tonight. Shawnee, with a win, can possibly make the postseason, which will be a salve after the season that Shawnee has endured, or maybe not. It kind of depends on your perspective of Week 11 athletics. Good evening, everyone. Nate Garlock here in with me. I'm Patrick Hamler, and looking forward to this matchup. Kenton and Shawnee, both teams not having the seasons that they were expecting, certainly wanting to do a little better. Both of them with an opportunity to end the regular season with a win here tonight.
Yeah, the Kenton Wildcats have been on the wrong end of some very close matchups. 5 one-score losses this season. Just a heartbreaking way to lose games. They haven't been able to close those ones out. And then on the other side for Shawnee, got off to a great start, 2-0 to open the gate. Things looked really good after that 0-10 season last year, and then they kind of hit it a slide. They've had injury issues. No better way, though, to end the season feeling good about where you are as a program if you can get the last win.
Kenton has dominated this series overall, but Shawnee has won 2 of the last 3, or reverse that actually, and an opportunity here to see if they can keep that going. As we take a look at the keys of the game, what are we looking at? What do the teams have to do for a win tonight?
Yeah, for Kenton, they need the defense to get stops. The big issue over the last couple of years with this Kenton Wildcat team is that defense. They've just given up way too many points. We know the offense is good. They're going to score a lot. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to come up with stops when it matters the most. They got to feed the seniors. Zane Perkins has had a fantastic year. He's a 1,000-yard receiver, had a big game last week, 11 catches for over 200 yards. Just keep feeding him. A weakness of this Shawnee team is that secondary, and he should have opportunities for big plays all year long. And then don't let up. We just got done talking about how close these games have been. Last week, they had a 14-point lead with 5 minutes left to go in the game, and they couldn't close that one out. They can't allow themselves to take it easy or back off at all. Just got to keep going and close this one out.
And Shawnee Indians, as we said, one more win, and they can actually sneak into the playoffs. It's not a guarantee, but they've got that as an option. What do the Indians need to do to pull off a win tonight?
Yeah, that's one of those things about this extended playoffs, right? Because, a couple of years ago, this isn't going to be that carrot that can be dangled, and now Shawnee still with some things to play for. But the big thing is a lot of what I just talked about, and that's that secondary from Shawnee. They have to keep the ball in front of them. They have been burned on the long ball time and time again this season. They cannot afford to allow that to happen this year, or this Kenton team is going to run away on the scoreboard. They got to stretch the field. Offensively, they got to be a little bit more dynamic, move the ball around a little bit. Don't be afraid to take deep shots. They have deep threats on this team that can help them do that. They just got to play a little bit more free, a little bit more open, and take those opportunities when they arise. And then they've got to get red zone points. Last week, they lost a tough one against Ottawa Glander, 21-14. They were in the red zone 3 different times, came away with 0 points, were stopped on the 1-yard line 4 straight times. They've got to find ways of coming away with points once they're inside the 20.
Hard to leave those points on the table, particularly in the competitive Western Buckeye League. Those are your keys to the game. We will have the kickoff coming up between Shawnee and Kenton when we come back here on WOSN. Just about ready for kickoff here from Shawnee Stadium. Tonight's scoreboard is brought to you by Ultimate Outdoor. Bring resort-style living to your backyard every day with a luxury outdoor space by Ultimate Outdoor. The Wildcats and the Indians just about ready for kickoff. Welcome into the broadcast position. I'm Patrick, he's Nate, and one of these teams is going to win their second WBL game of the season. I know that's not how Kenton or Shawnee wanted to have Week 10 be talked about, but that is the reality. Someone is going to be able to get up out of the basement of the WBL tonight.
Yeah, it's one of those things, too, when you look at it, and, nobody likes the consolation prizes, right, or the, you had a losing season, but you take this away and, kind of looking through to the silver lining. But the reality of it is, coming into this season, both of these teams' expectations outside of the programs weren't too high. Inside the programs, they were looking for growth. I do think that when you actually look at it and you dig deeper into it, both of these two teams did get better. Kenton, they only have the one conference win. However, when you start looking at those games, they were competitive. They were in them. The offense looked really well. Like I said, 5 one-score games. If those go the other way, you're talking about a playoff team if you're Kenton. And if you're Shawnee, you come in with a brand-new coaching system, a new style, all new everything off an 0-10 season. You get started out of the gate 2-0. You got winning back into this program. And now you're just trying to end it the right way and carry some momentum into the offseason.
Blaine Bushong carrying it out to the 25-yard line, and that will put the Kenton offense up on the field first. Corbin Johnston, the quarterback, leader of this Wildcat team. And even though the Wildcats not having the best record-wise, I'll tell you what, Johnston's still putting up pretty impressive numbers through the air.
Yeah, I mean, this is the top offensive team yardage-wise in the entire Western Buckeye League. They average over 450 yards a game. They are fourth in scoring with just over 30 points a game. So this is definitely a team that knows how to light up a scoreboard. Shawnee really has struggled on defense this year, so they're going to need to come up with a big effort here tonight.
Maddox McFarland on the completion, getting out to around the 30-yard line. So a good first start for this Kenton offense. Johnston has been pretty accurate as a passer this season, 192 for 277, and most likely going over 3,000 yards, although we'll see how the game goes. Here's Johnston scrambling on second down, lets this one go and finds Maddox once again out across the 35-yard line to the 34, where he is brought down. That's going to be good for a Kenton Moose first down.
Yeah, and those are the things that Shawnee just can't allow to happen. This is one of the reasons why Johnson is so dangerous. He keeps plays alive. He can move around, and those receivers never stop trying to get open. So you may get them off of their first route, but they're not going to give up on it. They're going to look for some open space. McFarland has done a great job this year. He's been a nice surprise for this team as a freshman. He has put up a lot of numbers. He's actually currently third in the Western Buckeye League in receiving yards with 767. So they get a lot of production out of those receivers, and it doesn't matter if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. You can catch the ball, Corbin Johnston's going to find you.
Zane Perkins was the intended receiver on that last play. Perkins, one of the leaders on this team in receiving, and that will bring up second down. Little flea flicker action. Johnson firing the pass over the middle, complete to the 4-yard line. Ball comes out, but I think he was down.
And actually, I think that this is going to be a turnover.
Well, they are going to give it to Shawnee. So they're going to say that he fumbled the football.
And I think we're going to see on this replay as they spun him around. Bacon was able to shake that one free. I think it's a good call for the fumble. Right there. Ooh, that's awfully close. That is awfully close.
At least that's what it looks like to me up here. Lee's Recipe Chicken instant replay showing us there. Shawnee getting the benefit of no red flags in high school football, I think, on that particular play. And it's going to be Shawnee football at the 20.
And if you're Kenton, though, too, I mean, nobody likes a turnover, especially as you're going into the end zone. But also, in the back of your mind, you have to be going, that was pretty easy. We're going to have another opportunity before too long.
Here is the man in motion, Dalton Hobson, who picks up about a yard there on first down.
How Shawnee chooses to use their backfield tonight will be interesting. They had an injury last week to Cole Sunderland. The senior had done most of the heavy lifting when it came to the running back position. So he goes out, not able to play tonight. We've seen Hobson have a bigger role in this offense, especially in that with that jet sweep. But they did get a little bit of help, as you see. Number one's back in the game there. That's J.J. Spiker. He had missed a big chunk. He originally started as the starting quarterback for this team. But with the injury, comes back. He's now the running back, and we'll see how big a role he plays. Spiker
back to pass, and that ball is short. Was looking for number 3, Reese Davidson, there over the middle. Incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd and 9.
If you're Shawnee, this 3rd and 9, these are the things that you have to stay out of. 3rd and long yardages are not going to help you here tonight. And you're trying to seize a little bit of this momentum. You got the benefit of the turnover, maybe gotten a call that went your way there. Going 3 and out is not going to make you feel real good here as if you go off the field if you can't convert here. 3 wide here on 3rd down. Looking long, has a man wide open. That's Michael Garlock. He made a man miss. Garlock taking it to the house for the Elida Building and Contracting touchdown. 79 yards, and the Indians strike first. Somehow Garlock got wide open in that secondary. He gets behind the defense, makes the beautiful catch, makes the man miss here, and then no one is going to touch him. He has been hunting for that first touchdown all season long. You can see the excitement on his face. Shawnee up here early. Nate Garlock very excited about Michael Garlock's touchdown. I've done a really good job for 4 years controlling myself when I've had to call his games. I got away from me a little bit on that one. Let it rip, man. I am fine with it. The kick is up, and it is good. Shawnee strikes first. They take the turnover and goes 80 yards for the touchdown.
As we take a look at the replay, maybe we'll see the extra point here again on the instant replay. Just to let you catch your breath for a minute in case you were breathless from the 79-yard touchdown run. That makes it 7-0 Shawnee.
I think that was more for my benefit than anybody else's.
Welcome back. Tonight's touchdown sponsor is Elida Building and Contracting. Call Brian Wheeler at Elida Building and Contracting. Commitment to quality and community. Elida Building and Contracting. 48 years of trust, 48 years of experience.
So, we're going to see how well now Shawnee can respond, because on the last time that Kenton had the football, it was pretty easy for them to move downfield. They do get the turnover. They cashed it in. You couldn't have asked for a better a play there on 3rd and long as they get that touchdown. But now they got to calm down. They got to get settled back in, and they've got to find a way to slow down this Kenton offense, because, quite frankly, that was very easy for Corbin Johnson and the Wildcats.
Yeah, Blaine Bushong with the return there, and of course you can go back later. I'm sure Kenton fans will go back and look later and look at the fumble that didn't look like it was a fumble, even though that's what it will be. That's what it will be, and that's what it was called. But as you said, they moved the ball down the field pretty easily on this Shawnee defense. We'll see if they can do it again. They get off to a nice start out to the 35-yard line, as that is McFarland bringing that one in.
Yeah, just a simple out route by McFarland there. Did a nice job, only going about 5 yards and just got flat. Corbin Johnson with the easy pitch and catch.
Second down and 4 for the Wildcats. Here's Johnston looking across the middle. Pass is incomplete. Dangerous pass there. Was looking for someone who was double covered.
Yeah, from up here, it didn't look like his receiver had the angle at all, as there's 2 Indians right there. A little surprised he let that one go, and Kenton may be a little fortunate that didn't come or that didn't end in another turnover.
Wyatt McKenzie was the intended target on that play. Make it 3rd down and 4, and they're going to go right up the middle, push the pile, and may have enough for a Kenton Moose first down.
Yeah, what a great play call there on 3rd down, as Kenton. Everybody knows that they want to throw the ball 3rd and 5 or 6 on that one. Shawnee expecting a pass, and Corbin Johnson just pulls it down, goes right up the middle of that defense, and gets enough yardage for a first down.
Johnson backs the pass again. Slant pattern is complete. There is Maddox Hommel.
And this is what Kenton will do for you, right? They do these short passes. They get open underneath. You're so worried about the long ball that you give up some of that yardage in front of you. And then just as soon as you start to creep in a little bit, that the receiver leaks out. They hit the deep ball, and you're not really sure what happened.
5 wide, and the pass intended for Perkins is incomplete. A little high on the pass. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, the pass was definitely there, and usually that's one that you'd see Perkins reel in, but Johnson sailed that one just a bit. Fortunate for the Indians, as they're going to have another 3rd down here. This is something that Coach Wireman said that they had to be good at, was getting off the field on 3rd down. We saw them not able to do that the first try. We'll see if they can do it here.
Here's Johnston, 3rd and 5, steps into it. Pass is complete right at the marker. Ball comes loose again, and it will be another fumble and a turnover for Shawnee.
Well, a great job defensively here for the Indians, as this pass was complete. No doubt about, did he ever really have it secured? I thought that one was going to be a no-doubter, but even maybe a little bit on that one of, did he actually have it secured before the Indians knocked that one loose? Maybe the second turnover that the Indians got a fortunate call on.
Another source of conjecture in just under 4 minutes gone by here in this first quarter. But it is another turnover for the Wildcats, and Shawnee will get the ball in much better field position than they started their last drive. They'll be at the 48 as they get rolling here, and the pitch goes out on 1st down. A few blockers for J.J. Spiker as I think he stepped out of bounds at the 45.
Yeah, it's big that they were able to get Spiker back. Before he got injured and when he was playing the quarterback position, he was one of the top rushers in the Western Buckeye League. He was a true dual-threat quarterback. He really made this offense dynamic. And then in that rain-soaked game against Walpock, just kind of went to brace himself, had some elbow issues. Able to come back, not 100%, but enough where he's still very dangerous. He's fast. He's a tough runner. He could be big for the Shawnee tonight.
Be second down and 5. Here's the handoff once again, this time going out to Hobson.
Hobson gets tackled hard out of bounds, but not before he picks up a first down. Coach Wireman, he has loved what the Hobsons, Colton and Dalton, his twin brother, have brought to this team. Their speed, it can be game-changing, so if they're able to get them loose on the edge and they get some open space, those guys know how to pick up some yardage.
They pick up the Kenton Moose first down. Keep the drive going for Shawnee. Ball at the 42. Shifting some things around. And will be a handoff. This is Spiker, who squirts across the 40, maybe to the 39. Now they'll mark him at the 40.
You see big number 45 right there, Achias Richardson. They move him all around. You'll see him play tight end. He's a monster for them on the D-line as well. And he'll even carry the ball a few times here tonight. And that time, as they shifted him over to that right side, that's where J.J. went, as he just followed in right behind the hole he made, as they were able to pick up some short yardage there on first down.
Pickup of 2. Second down coming up for the Indians. Man in motion. Bacon back to pass. Puts this one up and incomplete. Pass intended for...
That's Chase DePalma, number 7. And it was a good play design that time for Shawnee, as you saw Garlock go hit the underneath. That's where Bacon looked like he was going to try to go. But ultimately, Kenton's defense did a nice job of adjusting to that. And by the time the ball got to where Bacon was throwing it, there was 4 white jerseys there surrounding the ball. So Shawnee probably fortunate that they weren't able to get their hands on it.
Perkins providing the defense, among others, on that play. And now 3rd and long for Shawnee. Bacon flushed out of the pocket. Eyes downfield, is going to take off and run for it. And nice tackle there around the 39-yard line, 34-yard line, saving the Kenton Moose first down.
Yeah, Caleb Bacon, a very capable runner in his own right, actually was the starting quarterback to begin the season last year before they made the switch after 4 games. And so he knows what to do when he gets into trouble. He's not uncomfortable back there. And now he gives his offense an opportunity here on 4th down.
Trenton DeLong with the tackle that saved the first down, and now Shawnee at 4th and 1. No doubt both teams acting like 4-down territory could be a thing all night tonight, depending on how it goes.
You know, it's one of those two things too, Patrick. We talk about 4th and goal and all these other things. Like, what do these teams have to lose? As you're going to see Hobson pick that one up. He had a big hole. Or no, that was actually JJ. Yeah, Spiker. But what do you have to lose, right? You might as well empty the playbook. You know, there's no reason to not take chances here tonight.
A little bit of a pirouette there for J.J. Spiker, getting the Kenton Moose first down. Showing off that on the Lee's instant replay. And that will keep the drive going here for Shawnee. This one a little more methodical than their first drive. That was a couple of plays and then a big pass play for a touchdown. Ball on the 28, and Bacon will keep it. Looking for some space in the middle, not finding very much. Kenton's defense is right there, and the pile is going to get pushed.
And I'll tell you what, that is all because of Achias Richardson. You saw him right at the end as Bacon kind of was bouncing around. I think ended up backwards a couple of yards before Kenton was able to wrap him up. But then Achias came in and moved over the entire pile almost all by himself. And somehow they end up picking about 4 yards up on that play.
It's kind of one of those where you think, are they going to blow the whistle? Is the whistle going to be on? And they just kept moving the pile.
Oh, yeah, you've seen a lot of games just like I have. Have you felt like this year, like the officials are not blowing that play dead as quickly as they have in years past?
Now, see, I was going to say that some of the games that I've seen, I felt like they blowed it a little too
so
early.
We're just seeing complete opposite games.
Halfback pass. It's Spiker connects once again with his man for an Elida touchdown.
Halfback pass. Who? That's Michael Garlock, his 2nd of the game. And I'll tell you what, that is one of the benefits that you have when your original starting quarterback comes into the backfield. You're going to see Bacon pitch it to him, but he knows how to throw the ball. Garlock gets behind the defense. Beautiful pass, beautiful catch, and Shawnee on top here early.
Spiker to Garlock for the connection, 28 yards, and it is 13-0 Shawnee. Extra point forthcoming, and doink!
And this first miss of the season. So I'm not sure if that was a bad snap or what, but unfortunately no extra point for the Indians.
So 13-0 is the score. Shawnee on top of Kenton. We'll be back. Tonight's instant replay sponsor is Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken in Lima, Wapak, Delphus, and St. Mary's. Call Lee's for all your catering needs. Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, where home style happens. Shawnee out to a 13-0 lead over Kenton. The Wildcats have had the turnover bug bite a little bit. They've had 2 fumbles, and those have translated directly to all of Shawnee's points tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a question about those turnovers once, people are able to start kind of seeing those film. It was great camera work by our people here at WSN. Is I think both of us, the first one, they're close. I think that first one probably wasn't. The second one, did he secure it before he went out?
Right.
But either way, you can only play how the officials call it. And then ultimately, Shawnee ends up cashing in. And that's what you want to do. If you're going to force those turnovers, you have to make the Wildcats pay for it. And so far, so good, at least on the Indian side of things.
Bushong with another return, and that will set Kenton up. And again, you think that if Kenton can hang on to the football, there's an opportunity here for their offense to put some points on the board because of those turnovers. Promising offensive drives have ended up with nothing so far for Kenton.
Yeah, and I mean, not a single negative play yet, right, for the Wildcats. Everything has been upfield. They've been able to get 5-6 yards of play. Just those turnovers. You clean that up, you hold on to the football, and we're in maybe in store for a shootout.
Here's the handoff on first down, and plenty of space out to the 45-yard line, as that's a nice carry there for the Kenton Moose first down. Grady Clayman Beasley, his first carry of the night.
Yeah, Beasley with a huge hole as he works off that left side. They had to revert him to running back this year. He actually was pretty much the star wide receiver for this Kenton team. He was the one that you saw all the targets and the big yardage going to last year and early part of this season, but due to an injury, he shifted into running back. Obviously, we know they didn't miss a beat on the outside with Zane Perkins stepping up and along with McFarland, but Beasley has been a very nice surprise at the running back position for the Wildcats.
That's Clayman Beasley again, taking the ball out to the 41-yard line. Kenton also working quickly. Not no huddle per se, but definitely getting to the line fast. As Clayman Beasley again on second down. Comes up about a yard short of the Kenton Moose first down.
I like the adjustment that Kenton made here. Instead of going into the air, they saw that there really was just a 3-man front that Shawnee was throwing at them, because Shawnee understands this Kenton offense and what they want to do. So Kenton said, okay, you're going to keep putting just 3 guys up front. We're going to go continue to run the ball, pick up big chunk yardage. Now you get at least one of the linebackers creeping up.
And off once again is Kenton committing to the run game as they pick up another Kenton Moose first down. Clayman Beasley doing work on this particular drive for Kenton.
Kenton just continuing to have the same kind of success that we've seen here all game. Not really getting too much of a challenge here from the Shawnee defense. And you're going to see a timeout as Coach Wireman wants to talk about it.
Indians taking a timeout. We'll take it as well. 3:46 remaining here in quarter number 1. We'll be back. Tonight's first down sponsor is the Kenton Moose Family Center. The Kenton Moose is Hardin County's home for great food, fellowship, and friends. That's the Kenton Moose, 428 in Kenton. Online at KentonMoose428.com. Over the top. And huge gain, and there's a Kenton Moose first down. And hanging on to the football, most importantly, Maddox McFarland setting Kenton up very nicely at first and goal at the 1.
Yeah, they're picking on number 2, Dalton Hobson over there. Hobson let McFarland have the inside, and a nice catch that time, and looks like they got in.
I was going to say Clayman Beasley getting in there for the touchdown. That was Zane Perkins who had the catch earlier, by the way.
Oh, Zane Perkins. Apologize.
No, I said it wrong first. Elida Building and Contracting touchdown for Kenton. And just like that, the Wildcats are right back in this one.
And if you're Coach Wireman, you got to be frustrated. One, you've seen Kenton's offense just be able to move the ball at will. You called the timeout to try to get your team set here, and then they come out and they give up the big play over the middle. You just can't allow your receiver to come open like that. He just released him to the inside knowing that the safety help wasn't there. He's supposed to be playing one-on-one. And all that Corbin Johnson had to do was put it in front of his receiver, and he was going to be able to box out the defender. That's exactly what happened. And then Kenton going very quickly, able to get the 1-yard touchdown run.
Little delay there, it looks like, as they were trying to get all the personnel in, as it looks like they are going to go for 2.
You know, it's hard to blame them, too, with as much as they've been able to move the ball. And there it goes.
There it is. McFarland this time with the 2-point conversion. And that could be very important as this game progresses. 13-8, Shawnee still on top here on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's scoreboard is brought to you by Ultimate Outdoor. Bring resort-style living to your backyard every day with a luxury outdoor space by Ultimate Outdoor. A lovely fall evening here for Week 10 of the high school football season and playoffs starting next week. Shawnee with a hope, faint as it may be, but a hope of playing football in Week 11. They hold a 13-8 lead over the Kenton Wildcats right now.
Yeah, there's still some math that's mathing where they could potentially find their way in. But first things first, they've got to find a way to stop this Kenton offense. And it is not easy. A lot of teams in the Western Buckeye League have not been able to do it this year.
Spiker runs out of bounds around the 34-yard line, I think, and that's where Shawnee will set up shop. And so far it has been an offensive struggle apart from the 2 turnovers that Shawnee has forced. Both of these offenses have been able to score at will against their opposing defenses.
Yeah, so far it's been Kenton being able to move pretty much at any pace that they'd like to. For Shawnee, they've been relying on those big plays. They had a nice methodical drive the last time, though, before they finally were able to hit that halfback pass. We'll see if they're able to replicate that success.
See how much they key in on Michael Garlock from here on out. Here's Bacom back to pass. Hits J.J. Spiker. Spiker showing some nice moves out across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Nice 6-yard pickup on that play.
And I think what you had just said just happened as Garlock released from the line. 2 different players went with him, and it left that flat completely unguarded. Nice job by J.J. Spiker to pick up good yardage.
Coming up on 3 minutes remaining here on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard in quarter number 1. Shawnee, 5-point lead on Kenton. Three wide to the left for Bacom. Second down. Come back and incomplete. Couldn't bring that one in is Reese Davidson.
Davidson's had that creep up on him a couple of times this year where he's just had some balls bounce off of his hand. That time he just got caught looking to where he was going. He was wide open, normally a ball that he would secure, but they got a little bit too excited that time, took his eyes off of it to see where he was going to run, and unfortunately for Shawnee, it dropped to the turf.
Brings up 3rd down and 5 for the Indians. Looking to keep this drive alive. Kenton looking to force their first punt of the game. Bacom flushed, rolling right, fires this one and is going to throw that one away. So good defense by the Wildcats, and that will force Shawnee to punt.
Yeah, and that's not something that Shawnee wants to see here in this first quarter. They've had some pretty good possessions. That time, Bacom gets forced to the short end of the field. Not a lot of room to run. No help coming back in from his receivers. And if you're Coach Wireman, you can't be happy with that quick 3 and out, especially with the struggles that you've had against the Kenton offense so far.
Indians will punt. And our defense will have a chance to see if they can slow down the Kenton attack. As this punt gets away, a nice punt. Going to take a little bit of a Kenton bounce before it takes a few more Shawnee rolls and goes out to between the 11 and the 12-yard line. So a nice punt there by Shawnee, and that'll pin Kenton deep.
So if nothing else, at least there's some more field for the offense to work with. But I'll tell you what, until Shawnee has shown some way to slow this down, make some adjustments to disrupt what Kenton has liked to do, if you're Kenton, you got to feel like, every time that you're out on the field, you're going to come away with points.
They certainly have to have that confidence. Again, I know that their first 2 drives ended on turnovers, but of course, if you're a Kenton fan, you can make the case that they weren't turnovers, even though they were called turnovers. But in any case, Kenton back to work. Johnston will keep it on first down and gets out to the 20.
Great recognition by Johnson there as Corbin went to tie that in. It was just an option read for him. He saw that the defense was back there, pulls it back before Achias gets to him and makes a negative play into a positive gain.
Clayman Beasley was going to be stopped in the backfield, so as you said, nice read by him. And now Clayman Beasley taking it out to the 27-yard line, 28-yard line.
Now you're seeing where this Kenton offense, they're using that run game, leaning on that. And they're going to try to see if they can't force Shawnee to have to send some of those linebackers up to open some things up in the middle of the field.
Johnston swings this out. Shawnee is there, but still able to get around and pass the defense out to the 35-yard line. So a nice pickup, about 7 yards on that play.
You saw J.J. Spiker come in there and blow that defender up, but even though it was an impressive hit, he lowered his head, turned his back to the ball carrier, and that allowed Kenton to pick up some good yardage.
One man in the backfield with Johnston. Getting set, 2nd down and 3, and this is a QB keeper. Johnston out to the 40-yard line, and that will be enough for a Kenton Moose first down.
Yeah, Shawnee's going to have to find some way to get into those gaps a little bit more. Right now, that 3-man front is just not getting it done. We see a flag come in, and there was a late substitution come on the field for Shawnee. You wonder if they didn't get off the field in time.
Yeah, I'm wondering that myself. Here's the Lee's Bengals Recipe Chicken replay. As that pass looked pretty clean. And we'll see what the call here is going to be. And indeed, you're right.
So Shawnee trying to run the fresh legs on, and with that late substitution, didn't give who they were running out enough time. So, but it looks like Kenton's moving backwards.
Well, then the signal was against Shawnee.
So I'm not positive why they're now. The chains look like they're gonna. I'm not real sure at this point, Patrick.
I just work here, man. I don't know what's going on. Looks like they are gonna.
Because it shouldn't be a dead ball.
Mark the yardage off. Well, they're marking it off like it is a dead ball because they took the ball back to the original line of scrimmage and they moved it 5 yards. So if that's the case,
that actually benefits Shawnee
there.
That
benefits Shawnee. You think if
you'd almost want to decline that penalty, but
I'm done thinking tonight. Here's Johnston throwing this one out. This was incomplete.
Not sure if that was a miscommunication or if Richardson's able to get his hands on that one, but that one stays off target to make it second. Yeah, I'm not real sure on that one.
Every once in a while, you just sit here and go, maybe I don't know what I'm doing.
If it makes you feel any better, it's way more often for me than just every now and then.
There were fumbles. I don't think they were fumbles, but they were called fumbles, and now there's all kinds of stuff happening. Michael Garlock scoring touchdowns. I just don't know.
It's upside down. It's upside down world today.
Johnson with the handoff on 2nd and short. Breaks through. This is Cleveland Beasley. He's going to take it to the house for the touchdown. Eli Building and Contracting.
Yeah, Beasley had a huge hole off of that left side, and it's what we've been talking about the last 2 possessions. Shawnee just not bringing enough guys in. Beasley does a nice job of making 2 men miss, and then it's just a foot race. And it's not too often that you see Hobson lose one of those, but Beasley has speed of his own, and just like that, Kenton's on top. And we're not even out of the first quarter yet, Patrick.
Say, if you wondered, man, this quarter is taking a while to do, it's because, well, it has. Still in the first quarter, 44 seconds to go. Shawnee now trailing by 1 point after having a 13-0 lead, and Kenton Looks like they're going to go for 2 again. A little chicanery. The ball comes loose. And the ball that will blow it dead. Not an opportunity to take it back for 2 points. So the 2-point conversion does not go. And with 44 seconds to go here in quarter number 1, it is Kenton on top of Shawnee, 14-13. We'll be back on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's touchdown sponsor is Elida Building and Contracting. Call Brian Wheeler at Elida Building and Contracting. Commitment to quality and community. Elida Building and Contracting. 48 years of trust, 48 years of experience. The Wildcats showing off their own offensive prowess, taking it right down the field. And what ended up being a very long drive. I think it was an 87 or 88-yard drive when it was all said and done. And that gives Kenton the lead for the first time tonight.
Yeah, the offensive yardage is already starting to rack up as he
made
a man miss.
And that's going to pay for it. Pushed out of bounds at the 37-yard line. And I'll tell you what, folks, you better strap in because I think we're going to have a lot of scoring in this one.
Shawnee did a nice job of moving some guys around. If Kenton was going to go ahead and have those short kickoffs, they were going to make sure that they had guys up there able to return that one. As that was Reese Davidson. He has good speed, worked that sideline, and now 38 seconds left to go here in the first quarter still, and Shawnee has the ball in great field position.
Indians working with a short field, and we'll see how Shane Wireman wants to approach it. Here's the handoff. This is Spiker who gets it, working that far side, pushed out of bounds the 35-yard line. No, he stays in. Thought he was going to get pushed out. Keeps going out to the 27-yard line.
Such good lateral movement. Watch this at replay on the Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken Instant Replay as he just bounces out to his right there. Decides to come back in as he makes a couple of guys miss. Got small, is able to fit through that traffic and finished a very tough run. This is a guy playing with a brace on his elbow. He's not nearly 100%. He's a tough kid, though, and he brings a whole different element here to the running back position for Shawnee.
Nice gain on that play. Picks up the Kenton Moose first down. And we'll see if we get one more play here before the first quarter comes to a close. Looks like we will. Bacom back to pass. Short diving catch. They don't give it to him. I don't think they gave it to him, did they?
No, he didn't catch that one. It went off of his hands. Garlock did a nice job of stopping. He was open out there, but Bacom threw that one a little quick. It was a little bit short and off target. So still get one more play here as that one only took about 7 seconds to get off. So Shawnee with an opportunity here with 1 second left to see if we can't maybe get a little bit more points here in the first quarter, because why not?
Why not indeed? Second down and 10. Indians come to the line, trailing by 1. Bacom rolling out, looking, pass is incomplete, in and out of Garlock's hands, and that will bring the first quarter to a close. Kenton with a 1-point lead, and thinking they probably could be up by a lot more as we head to the second here on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's instant replay sponsor is Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken in Lima, Wapak, Delphus, and St. Mary's. Call Lee's for all your catering needs. Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, where home style happens. Second 12 minutes, ready to get going here in the books. Patrick Hamler, Nate Garlock here with you. And when you have teams that have not had the seasons that you want, you're really not sure what to expect. Could be a defensive struggle, could be an offensive shootout, could be a little bit of both. Welcome into the broadcast position here. But what we have tonight really is more of a offensive shootout with some turnovers thrown in. And if you're Kenton, you're thinking, hey, a 1-point lead, we've got plenty of time to extend that, and we have the offense to do it tonight.
Yeah, well, and I think if you're Shawnee, you had to feel like you were probably going to have to win this one ugly. You knew what the strength of Kenton was. You know what your weakness is as a team, and sometimes you got to make these games ugly. You're going to need turnovers. Now, Shawnee has to find a way to get stops, and they got to stop with these drop balls. We've seen 3 of them so far tonight, 2 here on back-to-back plays.
Slings it out to Spiker here on 3rd and long, and Spiker is going to get the Kenton Moose first down. Here's another look at it.
As I think actually they might, are they going to give it to them? And they are. Initially, it looked like they were stopping short, but that was great effort, as you saw on the instant replay there by Spiker, because the Kenton defender came in. He actually just took his eyes off of Spiker and tried to lower him, and Spiker stayed up onto his feet, didn't anticipate that hit, and able to pick up the yardage that gave him the first down.
Bakem under center, pitches it back here on first down. Spiker, full head of steam, takes it inside for an Elida Building and Contracting touchdown.
Great blocking that time by everybody on Shawnee, not just the O-line. Check out this instant replay. Everybody had somebody. They opened up a big lane. The receivers got in on it. They get to the next level for the blocking, and then Spiker does the rest as he gets into the end zone.
Bummer if you took the under. It's 19-14. Shawnee here with 11.5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
And it looks like Shawnee is going to go for 2 maybe. And, there goes Bakem out to the huddle.
Probably. I don't have the sheet in front of me that tells you all the math, but would imagine that you can make it a 21-14 lead for you. You go ahead and take it.
Looks like a little bit of confusion there from Shawnee. Just going to try to stretch the field out.
Going to try and punch it in, and that is exactly what they do. So the 2-point conversion is in there, and that gives Shawnee a touchdown lead. 21-14, just underway here in quarter number 2. Welcome back. Tonight's sponsor touchdown is Elida Building and Contracting. Call Brian Wheeler at Elida Building and Contracting. Commitment to quality and community. Elida Building and Contracting, 48 years of trust, 48 years of experience. Shawnee taking advantage of the short field, going 38 yards and putting another touchdown on the board with the 2-point conversion. And they have retaken the lead at 21-14.
Well, this is exactly what we thought we'd see, right? Shawnee averaging 12 points a game, coming out, putting 21 points on the scoreboard before we even get a minute into the second quarter. Everybody saw this one coming,
right?
Didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. You looked at the matchup, you looked at how everyone was doing, and went, of course, this game is going to have 35 points between the two teams with about 12 and a half minutes of game time gone by. We all saw that coming.
Looks like we had an equipment issue, so a new kicker coming out. Joel Stern, normally the punter, coming out to take this kickoff. Not sure why we saw the original place kicker come off the field.
So, yeah, as you said, Joel Stern in there to kick it, and we'll see what the approach is. They're going to kick this one somewhat deep. It's going to be fielded at the 11 by, I think it's Bushong, who has been returning the kicks tonight. And that will start the Kenton offense at the 21. So the Wildcats back on the field offensively, and I don't know how many opportunities they've had to feel good about their offensive output this season, but this has got to be one of these games so far where, you know, had a couple of hang-ups early on in the game, but after that, they've been able to do pretty much whatever they've wanted against the Shawnee defense.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, Shawnee's going to have to try to probably put a extra guy up at the line and just trust that your secondary is going to stand up and do its job, because you can't continue to let Corbin Johnson have all the time in the world back there. You can't allow them to keep eating you up with the run as well, and it looks like that's exactly what Shawnee's doing, as we're seeing a few more bodies up front.
Screen pass is complete, but not going to get a whole lot on that play. Pass completed to Gavin Sealscott.
Yeah, I don't think you can rush every single play. Obviously, you got to be a little bit more calculated about what you're doing, but you have got to find a way to put pressure on the quarterback and on Kenton. He's just too good to allow to sit back there and pick you apart.
Johnson has had that time so far, has it again, as this pass is complete. I think that's Perkins. Perkins breaking a tackle out across the 50, pushed out of bounds. Now they're going to mark him out of bounds at the Kenton 47, I think. Here's another look at it.
See Joel Stern there trying to get the tackle just a little bit too high on that one. Nice strong run after the catch. And that's what you get worried about if you're a defense when you're trying to go one-on-one with these receivers of Kenton. But you're going to have to be a little bit more sure. You got to fly to the football a little bit quicker.
Johnston Puts that one up. Intended for McFarland, no good. That was Bushong who was the previous recipient on that last play. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Wildcats. Johnston in the gun. Back to pass. Plenty of time back there. He lets this one go, and McFarland brings that one in at the 33-yard line. That's good for a Kenton Moose first down. Here's the Lee's Recipe instant replay.
What a great ball and a great adjustment by McFarland in the air to get turned backwards. Bacon never picked the ball up in the air. If he had, he might have been able to come away with that interception. But right now I think that the secondary of Shawnee just kind of struggling, and a perfectly set up screen play.
Perkins bouncing that one outside, breaks the tackles, breaking a couple of tackles, and dives in for an Elida Building and Contracting touchdown.
And once again, Kenton just making it look easy. This is an all-out screen play. They had it blocked perfectly, and then Perkins does the rest, making guys miss. You see Stern there not able to make the tackle, and then he fought through some contact there inside the 5 to get into the end zone.
Another touchdown drive, and it looks like that they are going to be going for 2. So
if you're in a shootout and they can't stop you, why not?
Double pass. Going back and intercepted.
And it's dead. Yep, you can't run it back.
You can't advance it in high school. And I tell you what, there's going to be people from Shawnee that are going to argue that point if they can next year on the off season, because there's a possibility they could have had 4 extra points here in this one. It is 21-20. Shawnee maintaining their lead here on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's scoreboard is brought to you by Ultimate Outdoor. Bring resort-style living to your backyard every day with a luxury outdoor space by Ultimate Outdoor. That gentleman at the bottom of the screen is explaining that Shawnee really needs to start playing some defense, although they are holding on to a 1-point lead.
Yeah, the thing with Shawnee is, and I'm glad to see that this offense is going, but at least with what we have seen so far this season, this isn't a team that's built for a shootout. Their defense has been good this season, and they're going to have to find a way to start getting a few stops. We've only seen 1 punt this game, and that was by Shawnee, a couple of turnovers. Other than that, these teams have been able to move the ball up and down the field at will.
Spiker with a return out to the 40-yard line, and that will put Bacon and the Shawnee offense out once again, as they will try and keep the points going.
And if you're Shawnee too, you obviously you want to put some points on the scoreboard, but you also have to be thinking, okay, we know that Kenton is going to throw the ball a lot, which means you're going to have a lot of clock stoppage. How can we try to bleed this time off while still being productive on offense, still getting points, but really not allowing Kenton to have a ton of time of possession?
Bacon back to pass, throwing this one. Pass is going to be complete. Nice pattern there. Garlock with the catch.
Just glad to see he was able to hold on to one finally.
So is all of Shawnee, Nate.
And we'll find out if whether or not Garlock watches these broadcasts or not, because I'll hear about it pretty quickly if he does.
Pickup of 7 on that play. 2nd down and 3. Man in motion for the Indians. Going to be a handoff. I think that was Spiker.
That was a long developing play that time. I was a little surprised at how slow that was. Really seemed like that one maybe been destined for a loss, but nice job blocking up front by the line of Shawnee and gave Spiker just enough room as he's able to pick up that Kenton Moose first down.
Indeed he does. That brings the ball out to midfield. Shawnee keeps it going under 10 minutes here in quarter number 2. In motion again, play action. Bacon has to throw this one away and does.
That was also a slow developing one, even from the Kenton side of thing, as they had a defender, number 52, as that was Junior Wright. He came free. Nobody picked him up. He looked like he was going to be able to get to Bacon, but a little bit slow. I'm not sure if maybe he was a little hesitant, thinking maybe Bacon was going to run on him.
Yep.
And fortunate for Shawnee, Caleb was able to get rid of that one out of bounds and with no harm done.
So that'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Bacon alone in the backfield, 5 wide for the Indians. Swings this one out. Pass is complete, but really back to the line of scrimmage. And that is it for Shawnee. That's Chase DePalma with the reception.
You got to think maybe looking at 2-down territory here. You're on your side of the 50. Defense hasn't really been able to stop Kenton so far. So you know what? Let's pick up some yardage here. Don't have to get it all, and then hopefully get that 1st down, if not here on 4th down.
Certainly some validity to that thought, simply because, as you said, there has not been a lot of defensive stoppage for Shawnee here so far against the Kenton offense. We'll see what they do on 3rd down. Long, Bacon, flushed, takes off, out to the 45, maintains his balance and pushed out of bounds at the 37-yard line, picking up a Kenton Moose 1st down.
Great decision that time by Bacon. He didn't try to force that in anywhere. It wasn't there, saw some space, and then the body control to maintain his balance and fight through 2 tackles as he gets a 1st down, and that's a big one for Shawnee.
Takes it down to the 37-yard line. Out wide once again. Pitch. I'm sorry, handoff rather. Spiker showing some maneuverability and back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Here's the instant replay.
Yeah, they tried to stretch it to the wide side of the field, but there wasn't a lot of space there. Kenton did a nice job of rallying to the football. It looked like maybe Spiker was a little shaken up on that play. So hopefully nothing too serious, and he'll be able to get back in the game.
He heads out. He's going to, I think, get looked at. See what Shawnee decides to do here. 2nd down and 10. 1-point lead for the Indians here in quarter number 2. Bacon letting this one go, trying to split the defense, and hangs on to it for the catch.
What a catch by Chase DePalma. And I tell you what, it took a lot of nerve for Caleb Bacon to throw this ball into double coverage. You saw DePalma not panic, just put his hands out there, let it come to him, stayed with it, and a big pass and catch for the Indians.
Kenton Moose 1st down, and that sets the Indians up 1st and goal. What a catch by Chase DePalma. Bacon will keep it 1st and goal and is going to dive in. We'll see if they give it to him. No signal yet.
And you saw
touchdown.
Yeah, you saw the official on that far side kind of put his hands up. He couldn't see it. He was waiting on some help from his fellow officials, and it was awfully close. It looked like maybe a knee got down early. It's been a real close one, you know, and it's hard to blame the officials when they're that close and they don't have the instant replay. You know, they're doing the best they can as well. But either way, Shawnee's going to get that touchdown.
Elida Building and Contracting touchdown. And sorry, Kenton fans, if you're just pulling your hair out watching this broadcast. But
so now they're going to talk about it and see if maybe the officials are coming together, I think, to have a conversation. And you see the official talking to the Kenton sideline, but maybe that's why they're getting together, just to confirm, to see who had a better angle. So maybe not officially a touchdown yet. I mean, if they reverse it at worst, right? He's down inside the 1 yard line. But if they reverse it, and you're a Shawnee fan, I don't know that you can be mad about it. I don't. You got to have one of those guys in that huddle, though, saying, no, I definitely saw him down prior to breaking the plane.
I don't know if the official was gesturing specifically at Kenton head coach Zach Turner. That could be the case. I don't know. Was someone on the Kenton sideline, which, again, kind of based on what we've seen, if you're a Kenton fan, you know, you probably have some reasons to be frustrated at kind of how things are going. And I summoned the coach over and going to get an explanation here, I think.
Well, and nobody's going to talk to the Shawnee sideline, so it leads me to believe that nothing is going to get changed on this one, but maybe just an explanation from the fellow officials to give to Coach Turner, because you're right. I mean, if you're Coach Turner, you are a little frustrated. You saw some pretty close plays with the 2 turnovers, and now this one, and there was definitely some confusion from the officials on whether or not that was a touchdown. They kind of looked around to one another. The official on the Kenton sideline who was on the goal line never made a signal. It was guys on the far end that did, and obviously Coach Turner not happy. They've had some awfully close games. They've been on the wrong end of some calls. He knows how big these can be as they move through the game, and I'm sure right now he is just very politely explaining to the officials, hey, it's okay, guys. I know it's still in the second quarter. Just need an explanation here. It's all right.
Sure, Nate. However,
that doesn't look like a friendly conversation to you, Patrick.
I mean, in the pantheon of sports conversations involving coaching personnel and officials, yes, that's an extremely friendly conversation. Is it actually friendly? Probably not.
And look, if you're Coach Turner, you do have an argument here, because I think what you see him doing is pointing to the far side going, how is that guy calling the touchdown when the near guy was ruling him down?
Yeah.
He shouldn't have. This guy had the better angle. So he's definitely, frustrated and, but at a certain point, you're not, I don't know that you're helping your cause, right?
Right.
At a certain point, it's, okay, but can you guys just keep this in mind for the next close play, please? And you got to go back to your sideline.
And the touchdown call was not made with a great deal of conviction. Like, we were watching the line judges, we were watching the officials, and he kind of put his arms up, kind of by the shoulders a little bit to signal the touchdown, welcoming the broadcast position here while they're sorting it out. And, one of the things that might continue to be a point of discussion is some of these close calls. And, again, you at home and we here at the booth have instant replay. We have video that we can sit and watch that. These officials are making the call as they see it right there on the field. So, we're not going to get on their case or we're going to cut them some slack, obviously, because they're having to make that in real time. But if you're Kenton, you certainly are hoping that some of these go your way at some point.
Absolutely. And now you see the head official, he's over talking with Coach Wireman trying to explain some things. And I don't know what the ongoing conversation is at this point. At a certain point, the officials have to either say, yep, hey, listen, we don't have enough to change it, definitively, so we're going to play on. Or, okay, one guy had a better angle. He's pretty definitive that he was down short. So here you go, 2nd and goal inside the 1.
Yeah, the length of the discussion is interesting. Let's see if we get
And it's a touchdown.
And there we got a touchdown. Okay.
So now we get to kick the extra point.
Getting into the ends talking about things territory here pretty soon. That's a Lord of the Rings reference for those of you at home.
Well, on the plus side, too, a first half that has been long, it helps shorten it up a little bit with the conversations. Here
is the extra point, and that one is up and good. No discussion needed. 28-0. Shawnee back on top here on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's first down sponsor is the Kenton Moose Family Center. Kenton Moose is Hardin County's home for great food, fellowship, and friends. That's the Kenton Moose 428 in Kenton, online at KentonMoose428.com.
Tell you what, both of these football programs might be getting some thank you notes from our sponsors tonight. With this type of scoring, there's all sorts of love going around. And right now, neither defense really showing the ability to slow down the other team's offense. We could be in a shootout all night long.
I would like to be a recipient of one of those thank you notes here before this one's wrapped up. Here we go with football action. This is going to be Kenton Bacon returning the ball out to the 35-yard line. And, of course, the big question for the Shawnee defense right now is, can we, for the love of Pete, get a stop?
Yeah, I mean, right now the only punt that we have seen is been from Shawnee, and the only time that Kenton has been stopped is basically themselves on some, little questionable turnovers. So Shawnee has got to find a way to get stops here, whether it's sending some extra blitz, getting some extra help, the linebacker staying home a little bit to make sure that they don't reach that next level. Something has to happen here because you got to get a little bit of respect back from this offense.
Right. Johnson hands it off and doesn't get anything there as Clayman, he is dropped for, no, not a loss, but no gain either.
Well, and I think that play right there is what you're going to have to see, and that's because Achias Richardson was at the lead of that one. He can be a handful at the line. He goes up against the best every week. He knows how to work his hands and get in, and that was a great block there as that freed him up.
Here's Clayman Beasley again. Nice stiff arm as well. Pushed out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Nice pickup there of about 15 yards, and a Kenton moves first down.
Yeah, just as I was saying, they've got to stop him. Achias tries to go in. Looked like he was going to have an angle at Beasley. And then big number 75, Bob Wilkinson, comes in and just blows him up. Beasley does the rest as he's able to scamper for a big gain.
Reese Davidson in there on the stop for Shawnee, and it's a struggle here when your secondary is making most of your tackles. Johnston finding him some space and goes between two guys before Shawnee comes up with the interception with some space to run and is hit and dropped at the 47-yard line. And Shawnee getting the stop they so desperately needed. Reese Davidson coming up with the interception.
Yeah, no doubt about this turnover as Johnson kept the play alive, moved with his feet, and it was tipped by two separate Wildcats before finally ended up in the arms of Davidson. Great reaction to that one as he's able to take that one up the field as he took a hard hit at the end of it. But a great play, a great response, and that is now 3 turnovers on the night for the Wildcats. Coming in tonight, they were +2 in the turnover margin. They'd only had 5 interceptions and 5 fumbles, so just 10 all season long. And they've already got almost a third of that here in this game, and we're still with 6 minutes left to go in the second quarter.
They're +3 for the game so far, I think. And, yeah, as you said, we are just halfway through the second quarter. I hope, folks, that you had nothing else to do today watching this football game because I think you're going to be here for quite a while. Here's a fumble that was dropped on top of it. J.J. Spiker back in the game and just falls on it.
Yeah, a little bit of trouble with that handoff that time, and I think what we've kind of seen before on those drop passes from Shawnee is Spiker was guilty of that time. It looked like his eyes were up. He was trying to find it. Bacon had a little trouble getting in the midsection. Shawnee fortunately fell back on that one. They almost gave that one right back to Kenton.
Looks like a couple substitutions being made for Shawnee as they try to extend their lead. You know, it's been interesting for all the talk we've made about Kenton's offense and how Shawnee has been able to get a defensive stop. Shawnee's up by 8 points. They're looking for more. Here's Bacon tossing that one in. Nice defense, although flag comes in at the end of that play. Maybe a little too much contact there on Garlock.
Yeah, that was actually all drawn by Bacon because Bacon let that one go before Garlock had ever come out of his break. And because of the tie-up downfield, as soon as that one left, the flag was going to fly. And Garlock still almost able to gather that catch in. But either way, it's going to lead to a first down for the Indians. And actually, it's not because of being a 15-yarder. It's not an automatic first down. That's always one that gets me confused in high school sports, that it's not the automatic
right, yeah, it's not
first
automatic
down.
First down. So it'll be a short 1st and 2.
No, yeah, it should be second, right?
I think so.
Should be 2nd and 2 because you should be able to replay that down, I believe. So now we should be looking at 3rd and 5. I don't know. You know what? Back to what you said.
If it was a 15-yard penalty, it should be 1st and 10.
There it is.
There we go.
Okay,
so 3rd down. All right.
So it'll be 3rd and 4 for Shawnee. So you definitely don't want to waste that penalty now. They're going to have to pick this up, and I think we're kind of in the same territory that we talked about during their last drive. 2-down territory here. They're on their side of the 50.
I think we've settled on 3rd down. They've been flipping it back and forth there on the other side. It was 4th down, then it was 2nd down. And it's 3rd down.
Yeah.
3rd and 3. Bacon is going to keep this one working on the near side, trying to get the first down yardage, and I believe he got it. Kenton moves first down.
Wasn't a lot of space there. Bacon did a nice job of getting to that edge quickly and getting turned upfield, as I thought he was going to be stopped relatively short of that first down marker.
Right.
But Nice job on the extra effort. They continue to move the sticks.
Seen a little bit of everything here in this one tonight. In fact, if a hot air balloon crash landed on the 50-yard line at this point, I would not be any more surprised than I am right now.
Hey, you know, we're only about half a mile from a hot air balloon launch site, too.
I know.
Okay.
I know. I'm just saying.
You're putting it out there, and there's one around for sure.
Here's Bacon putting this one up in a sliding. No, we're going to say incomplete. I thought that he was going to come up with that one. Incomplete.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad acting job, but the official, as he was coming around, saw that he had that one bobbled as he tried to cover that up. No good on that one as Bacon just underthrew him just a bit. And you can see Bacon limping around a little bit as he goes to that huddle. Maybe that's why he had a little bit hard time putting enough behind that pass.
Possibly second down and 10, ball at the 41. 4:17 to go here in the second quarter. Shawnee up 8, looking for more. In the gun, Bacon flushed out, gets rid of it. Pass is incomplete. That's really about the first time Kenton has been able to get pressure on him tonight.
Yeah, I think you're pretty fortunate if you're Shawnee that didn't end in intentional grounding because he didn't get too far out of that pocket, and luckily it was a receiver pretty close. So I don't think it was a bad no call on that one, but it was dangerously close. That's for sure.
Is that an intentional grounding or even getting credit for the sack, saying that he was already in the grass, which I don't think he was, but in any case, it's third down and 10.
I'll tell you what, that limp from Bacon continues to look a little worse and worse. If his mobility is hindered, that's a big part of his game, and you got to think Kenton has seen that, and that's why you're seeing some extra pass rush coming.
Complete across the middle, out to the 35-yard line. They'll mark him at the 37-yard line, well short of the first down.
Yeah, just a quick slant route that time. DePalma does a nice job, make sure he gathers that one in, and ends up losing his helmet for his trouble, so he's going to have to come off the field.
Fourth down and 3 officially. And Shawnee going for it. Maybe trying to draw him off sides. Looks like that's going to be the first approach. 13 seconds on the play clock. And Shawnee is going to take a timeout. Maybe give Bacon a little bit to rest there as well. Maybe try to shake that limp off. 3:33 to go here in the first half. It's an 8-point lead for Shawnee. We'll be back. Tonight's scoreboard is brought to you by Ultimate Outdoor. Bring resort-style living to your backyard every day with a luxury outdoor space by Ultimate Outdoor. Scoreboard getting used quite a bit here so far. 28-20 Shawnee on top of Kenton. Fourth down and 2 coming up for the Indians.
Yeah, you know, last home game of the season. Going to have plenty of time to rest after this. So actually now it looks like they do have the punt team out there. I'm a little surprised as, well, maybe not. Maybe just a deep eye.
So they will go for it on fourth down, and Spiker, I don't think he got it. Looks like he's going to be short.
Yeah, definitely did not. Great job by the Kenton defense getting in there and meeting J.J. Spiker in the backfield and then just held on to make sure he didn't pick up that extra yard that he needed. Kenton gets the first big stop of the game. Still plenty of time here in the second, and quite frankly, the way this game is gone, plenty of time for both teams to probably have 3 more opportunities. So,
without a doubt, Jaden Mustaine getting their first contact, and that will put the Kenton offense back on the field as turnovers have been their bugaboo. They have 3 turnovers so far, 2 fumbles and an interception. Without which you'd have to think that Kenton might be more than just in the lead. They might be in command of this one, but credit to Shawnee for forcing it. They will go back to work now here at first down, picking up a couple of yards there on the play.
Spiker did a great job there because I did not look like Shawnee had that covered very well. They had 4 wide receivers on that far side and not enough defenders. And so if Spiker wasn't able to come over and knock him down, that could have went for a big play.
Maddox Hummel with the catch here, second down. Swings this one out. Johnston out to McFadden. McFarland. Good for a Kenton Moose first down.
And just much of the same for the Wildcats, not really having any sort of problems. They're in this hurry-up offense, just keeping Shawnee on their heels as they continue to pick up big chunk yardage.
Johnston rolling out to his right, steps, throws the other side. There's Perkins on the catch and fighting for additional yardage before he's pushed back, and they're going to mark him at the 33-yard line, and another Kenton Moose first down for the Kenton Wildcats.
Yeah, these underneath slants are just eating up the Indians as the Kenton receivers are just getting to the inside. There's nobody coming on that other side help, and they get all sorts of green in front of them.
The tempo quickly moving now. Johnston back, fourth, back again, lets this one go on the run and incomplete.
You know, that's the other part that has to be frustrating if you're Shawnee. The times that you have had it covered very well downfield, Johnson hasn't ended up being sacked. He hasn't ended up being in a lot of trouble. It did lead to a turnover on their last possession. That ended up being a bad play, but you're not getting the negative plays as much as you would like when you're having those incompletions.
Stoppage on the field as a Shawnee player is down. We'll take a break as well with 2:36 to go here in the first half. 8-point lead for Shawnee. We'll be back here on WOSN. Tonight's instant replay sponsor is Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken in Lima, Wapak, Delphus, and St. Mary's. Call Lee's for all your catering needs. Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, where home style happens. Kenton back to action. Johnston pass complete to Perkins out at the 20-yard line. Kenton moves first down and then some out to the 17-yard line.
Zane Perkins not doing a whole lot that time as he just able to make the first guy miss. Nice hard run, able to get them inside the red zone.
Quickly back. Wildcats have kept this tempo pretty much all game, 5 wide. Fresh set of downs just inside the 20. This one swung out and incomplete. Hummel, the intended receiver.
You know, Shawnee really struggling with that up-tempo pace that Kenton is playing. Kenton doing a nice job of getting quickly to the line, seeing what Shawnee does, not allowing fresh legs in. Not seeing too many miscues from the Wildcats.
And here's the handoff. Still churning. Getting inside the 5 there for Cleveland Beasley for a Kenton Moose first down.
Cleveland Beasley not happy about something there. Not sure what happened towards the end of the play. You could see him talking to the official, but just went right through the heart of the defense there. And don't know if he thinks he got thrown down too hard on that one at the end or what, but either way, Kenton set up nice here with under 2 left to go in the half.
I saw his helmet dip down a little bit, maybe while he was going through there. Maybe there was a face mask. I don't know. That's pure conjecture on my part. In any case, that would have, if that had been called, that would have advanced them, a yard. That's about it. Be first and goal at the 3. Final 90 seconds of this first half, and they will take it right in for an Elida Building and Contracting touchdown.
Yep, got to imagine you're going to see a 2-point conversion here. They haven't attempted an extra point yet. Trying to see if they can't get this one tied before they head into the locker room.
Here's the look at it.
And Beasley just lowered his helmet and just great push by his offensive line to give him enough room to get into the end zone.
So that puts Kenton on the board again, 28-26 Shawnee with the 2-point conversion forthcoming as the teams will go around to talk about it. And, of course, there's you don't want to bang a drum to death, of course, but the defense performance will be something that I'm sure both coaches will talk about. And Shawnee certainly has something to talk about, but as far as forcing turnovers and stopping Kenton drives, they've actually had a lot of success with doing that in this one so far.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a nice job of getting their hands in there, knocking those balls loose, because regardless of whether or not you think that the Kenton player was down or whatever, the ball still ends up loose. Shawnee's doing a nice job of trying to loosen those balls up and loosen the grips and giving themselves opportunities. You saw a great interception by Reese Davison earlier. So, I mean, they've done some good things, but both of these teams really have to find a way to slow the other one's offense down consistently.
Can they keep him out of the end zone here for 2-point conversion? Johnston swings this one, passes incomplete. Had a guy bearing down on him, and it will stay a 2-point Shawnee lead with 1:23 left to go in the second quarter. We'll be back on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's touchdown sponsor is Elida Building and Contracting. Call Brian Wheeler at Elida Building and Contracting. Commitment to quality and community. Elida Building and Contracting. 48 years of trust, 48 years of experience. I know the Shawnee cheerleaders do push-ups every time Shawnee scores a touchdown, and they didn't know what they signed on for tonight.
Yeah, it's been a while since they had to do this many in a game, that's for sure.
Kenton, the last score, cutting the lead to 2, and now Shawnee will get the football back with 1:16 to go in the first half.
Big collision there as Jaron Bagley had taken it. Looked like maybe he had an opening, cut back to the inside, and the entire kickoff return team for Kenton seemed to be right there to meet him.
And an opportunity here for Shawnee to go back-to-back as they will get the football to start the second half.
You know, you have to get something going again, because now if you're Kenton, right, you're feeling good about your defense. You've been able to stop them. You know, you feel like, hey, you know, we know that we can get a stop if we need it. But if you're Shawnee and you can find a way to get some points here, you get the ball coming out of halftime, you're going to be feeling awfully good about this.
And Bacom letting it rip on first down, and Garlock having to play a little defense on that play to keep the interception from happening.
Yeah, you wonder if Garlock maybe picked that one up a little bit late, because he continued to run, and that one looked like it was going to be underthrown, maybe a little bit too much height on that one. Nice job, though, coming back and being able to swat that one down so it wasn't a turnover.
I say Bacom looks like he's moving a little better.
Yeah, hopefully whatever was bothering him, they were able to work on during that last defensive series.
5 wide for Bacom here on second down, and he will just keep it going up the middle, just shy of the 40 before he is pushed back.
Yeah, that time, you know, the whistle came pretty early, and they kept going. The officials let them play, though.
First time I've seen that this year. This game. And because there were a couple times, other games I've called this season where I thought, hey, you guys can let them go a little bit longer. Like, it was not clear that the play was stopped yet.
A big third down here for Shawnee.
3rd and 6. Can the Indians pick it up and keep this drive going under a minute to go here in the first half? And Bacom's just going to sling this one out of bounds and bring up 4th down.
Yeah, you know, you wish you would be able to see Bacom maybe keep that play alive a little bit longer. He actually had a receiver. Brady Bollock had gone free. If Bacom holds that for just a few more seconds and he didn't really have any pressure, he may have had a big play downfield. And unfortunately, though, they missed that opportunity, and now it's going to be another punt for the Indians.
So now it's Kenton who will get the football back with about less than 20 seconds.
And I don't see any world where Kenton just takes a knee either.
They went after this punt, and he's still able to get it off.
And
it's going to take a nice Shawnee bounce.
Yeah, Shawnee's going to end up with this one. I believe this is going to be the 15-yarder as they came after trying to get the block and went right into him. Yeah, it's going to be a roughing the kicker penalty. Shawnee with some opportunities here. 12 seconds left to go. If they want to take a shot or two, they can do it.
So Shawnee catches a break, although don't tell their punter.
Yeah, he took a big hit. There was a lot of guys back there, and he did a nice job of getting that one away and protecting himself.
Yeah.
But now with Shawnee going to have the ball about the 46-yard line,
happy to help, guys.
Bacom has the arm strength. Maybe take a couple of shots, maybe a couple of quick outs to get yourself in better position. But now Kenton looks like they took the timeout to talk about it.
So Shawnee, I think, has a timeout left as well. So there is some opportunities here for Shawnee. 12 seconds left. And, again, because of the time, you don't have to necessarily take one shot. You can break it up a little bit. try and get something here on first down, call a timeout, and take a shot.
It'd be interesting to see how Shawnee decides to play this. We just saw Bacon try that deep ball, but he underthrew that one. If you go that route, you're not going to leave yourself an awful lot of time if you don't make it to the end zone. If you do those quick slants, maybe you can get that quick timeout, get yourself maybe about 5-6 more yards, give yourself a better shot at that Hail Mary in the end zone.
1st and 10, ball on the 45. Bacon dumps it off. Nice speed there by Spiker. Cuts it back in. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, out of bounds there was a second on the clock. I don't know if they're going to give it to him.
And you saw a huge block from Michael Garlock as he came back across, and he went straight into and they're going to throw a flag. But I think this is going to go against Kenton, and so this is going to help out Shawnee a lot right now as they are not happy, as you see the big block right there.
And it looks like, he was out of bounds. There was a second on the clock remaining, and you think if you're going to get that anywhere, it's going to be at Shawnee.
So that was a clean block, too. It wasn't a blind side. It was right on, and now there's a second flag. So you're going to set up Shawnee now right around that 1 yard line, as the officials are not happy with some of the conversations that are happening on the other sideline.
That is significantly less friendly than we were talking about earlier in the game.
So now, you saw the block punt attempt ended in a roughing the kicker. Shawnee drew up a great play there to get everybody going to one side of the field. They threw back the other side. Spiker did a nice job working his way through tackles. You saw a big block there. Kenton not happy about it, and they're calling halftime, which it shouldn't end if there was penalty flags on the defense. Shawnee should get enough time down.
You're absolutely right. Shawnee should get something else.
So I'm not real sure what happened because you saw 2 flags get thrown. And so Kenton, though, they're not wasting any time as they are getting off the field. And I'm sure Coach Wireman is wondering what's going on, as it looked like they're still trying to get some explanations here. Not sure why 2 flags were on the field.
We're keeping it here for the moment because we assume that this is just going to go to halftime. Teams are heading off the field.
I guess unless they're saying that the flags came because the clock hit 0 and then the flags came, those penalties will be enforced coming out of halftime maybe. Maybe that's where we're at, and that's why everybody's leaving the field.
That's entirely possible. In any case, it is halftime here at Shawnee Stadium. Shawnee with a 2-point lead, 28-26. We're back for the third quarter after this on WOSN. Welcome back. Almost ready for the third quarter to start. Tonight's scoreboard is brought to you by Ultimate Outdoor. Bring resort-style living to your backyard every day with a luxury outdoor space by Ultimate Outdoor. It is Shawnee on top of Kenton, 28-26. Welcome back to the broadcast booth. I'm Patrick, he's Nate, and we have got a terrific matchup here brewing so far. If you're a fan of defenses,
not so much.
Maybe not really your thing unless you like turnovers. We've had a few turnovers, but it has been a great offensive showing by both teams, and certainly not without its points of controversy here so far, at least in the first 24 minutes.
Yeah, that's for sure. There's been a lot that's happened in that first half. Like you mentioned, the offenses, they were showcased. They scored a lot of points, a lot of yards. We had turnovers. We had questionable turnovers. We had calls. You had questionable calls. And, now as you see the officials making the official announcement, these are from the end of the second quarter where there was 2 flags thrown. Even that was a little controversy. We felt like there was still a second left on the clock. The officials say halftime. So instead of Shawnee having an opportunity to go into the end zone at the 1 yard line, now you come out of the locker room. They still are going to get the football in the kickoff, but field position you would think would be excellent because I'm pretty sure Ken's going to have to kick off from down and around the 25-yard line.
That's where they got the ball spotted right now. And if you missed the very end of the first half, it said there were a lot of flags that flew. Thought that it would be an opportunity for Shawnee to put some points on the board before halftime and then get the ball back here again to start the second half. It's not the way it was adjudicated. So that will result in, no matter what, Shawnee probably starting with pretty good field position here to get quarter number 3 underway. As we get rolling here, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments each team made, certainly on the defensive side of things, and if they will have much of an impact. There's some impact there on that return out to the 44-yard line, and that's where Shawnee will get started.
Yeah, I mean, really the only defense that's had success is Kenton's. They forced two punts, one of which got called back for a roughing the punter call towards the end there of that second quarter. So Shawnee's offense sputtered a little bit there in that second quarter towards the end of it. They're going to want to get back on track. We saw Bacon was a little hobbled, so hopefully the halftime was enough for him to be able to get himself right. Still looks like there's a little bit of a hitch there when he jogs out, and his mobility is a big part of his game. I think the big thing here in the second half, especially early here in the third quarter, is the discipline that these teams play with. We saw things getting a little chippy.
Here's J.J. Spiker taking it out. 19-yard pickup for him to get things started. Good start for Shawnee.
Yeah, we saw people get a little bit chippy. We saw everybody starting to get a little bit heated, the coaching staffs, the players. And when you get into games that are high-scoring like this, you want to make sure that you keep your head in the game and you don't allow extra mistakes to come in and affect things. A great start there with a first carry by J.J. Spiker as he picked up good yardage on first down. I think the ability to run the ball is going to be very big for this Shawnee team here in the second half. They haven't really shown that they can stop Kenton's offense, so the best thing that they can do at this point is try to eat a lot of clock.
Bacon will keep it. Going to bounce to the outside here on first down, and had a nice gain. Picks up about 7 on that play. As even though he's looks like he's limping a little bit, he's still got some pretty nice speed out there.
Yeah, there was a lot of room out there, so he didn't need to turn it on too much. But you see good acceleration right there, and nice job though by the Kenton defense to come flying in and making sure that they limited that. And that was Trenton DeLong that you saw coming in towards the end of that one to get that tackle. Bacon's definitely hobbled, but he's a senior. He knows this is his last home game of his career, and he wants to make sure that he goes out the right way. You're going to have to carry him off this field if you think you're going to get him off.
Second down and 3 for the Indians. Bacon rolling out to his right, looking, and will just chuck this one out of bounds. And we've seen him forced to do that a couple times rather than making maybe a risky throw, just throws it away.
Yeah, you wonder if you're going to have to change the play calling up just a little bit. Not sure that rolling him out of the pocket like that and getting him out on the run is the greatest of ideas. You can see he's a little hindered with that running ability, and he's clearly bothered. You probably want to limit his time carrying the ball to when you need it the most, not on those rollout plays. See if you can't do some things from inside the pocket.
I'm kind of surprised to see those still featured, a quarterback run and a couple of rollouts here so far so early in the third quarter. 10:34 to go. So we'll see if that adjustment is made. Here's the handoff to Spiker on third down, and just asserting his will past the 30 to the 28-yard line. Good for a Kenton Moose first down.
Yeah, J.J. Spiker would not be denied, as you can see here on the Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken instant replay. He just kept those legs going, kept churning until he picked up that first down. And, we've seen that a couple of times tonight where it seems like the plays have been slow to develop or it seems pretty obvious about what Shawnee is trying to do, but you got to give Spiker a lot of credit. He runs hard. He lowered his head, hit that hole, and they picked up a big first down.
Fresh set of downs. Here's a rollout again. Bacon in trouble and is just going to throw this one away as he takes a hit. Pressure came from the other side there on Bacon and had no choice but to get rid of it.
Yeah, right now they want to go downfield. You see that they want to kind of stretch the field, push things down. But, Bacon right now not with a whole lot of time. His mobility's pretty hindered, so he can't get out to that flat quick enough. And even if he could, I don't know if he'd have time to really set his feet to unload one.
Second and 10. Indians looking to increase their lead. Ball just inside the 30. Bacon looking and once again has to throw that one away as he is pressured. Kenton defense has really stepped up the pressure here in this second half so far.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job covering those routes. Not a lot of open places. The routes have been slow to develop, and Kenton's been right there. That time, Bacon made a mistake. His pocket was really clean. If he would have stayed in there, maybe stepped up, he'd had a lot of space. That time, though, he quickly vacated it when he felt some of that pressure, and he actually ran right into the arms of a Kenton defender.
So 3rd down and long coming up for Shawnee. They've had a couple of punts so far, trying to avoid one here and stay on the field, as you think this may be 4-down territory in any case. Bacon flushed out of the pocket again, looking to throw, and that pass is incomplete. Was looking for Garlock there and makes a new friend. 4th down.
Yeah, this has got to be a disappointing drive if you're Shawnee. You knew coming out that you were going to get excellent field position. This Kenton defense stepping up big, and I don't think they're going to try to kick the field goal here, and you're not really in position where you'd want to punt. So I think we're going to see them try to go for it.
I think you're right. I think this is 4-down territory, and that appears to be what we're seeing here.
Number 33, Ben Caprella in the backfield with Bacon.
Bacon drops back, stays in the pocket, lets this one go over the middle, incomplete. And it'll be a turnover on downs as Kenton able to get off the field, and they've been able to do that here a few times against this Shawnee offense.
Yeah, and you wonder, Caleb Bacon, he is, you got to love the effort that the kid's giving, but he's clearly hurt. He is going to be hindered. You wonder if the coaching staff is going to talk about some ways that, we saw a halfback pass earlier. You got J.J. Spiker is healthy. Are there ways that maybe you can try to protect Bacon a little bit more, do some different things? Because right now the offense is a little stagnant.
Here's Johnston swinging that out to McFarland there, and he picks up a nice set of yardage. McFarland there for 6.
Just a nice little screen pass across the middle. Nothing that we haven't seen a few times from Kenton as they stay in the hurry up.
This is a quick snap. Johnston from here looks like he has enough for the Kenton Moose 1st down.
Yeah, they're going to mark him about a yard past the sticks. So it's going to be a new set of downs for Kenton. And even though Shawnee's maybe starting to struggle on offense, Kenton surely isn't, as they're going to keep going.
5 wide, all alone in the backfield. Johnston on 1st down, letting it go. Pass is complete. McFarland all alone out there, breaking a tackle, still on his feet, fighting all the way down to the 11. A Kenton Moose 1st down as Kenton continuing to roll through this Shawnee defense.
Yeah, Kenton offense just too much for Shawnee. And, it's one of those things where it's kind of felt like it's been on the edge all night long. Shawnee's had some timely turnovers, but they're really flexing their muscle here on this first drive of the 3rd quarter.
Johnston back to pass. Is looking for that corner and finds it for... They give him a touchdown. They did, indeed. An Elida Building and Contracting touchdown as Kenton has retaken the lead here in the 3rd.
Blaine Bushlong just went and hung out in the flat. Nobody went to challenge him. Nobody went to pick him up. I think he was even a little surprised. You see him kind of look around like, hey, I guess I'm open. Send it this way. And he walks into the end zone. Kenton back on top.
Usually a wide receiver kind of raises their hand up like that. Usually it's a giveaway. The defense, oh gosh, there's someone there. He was open and takes it in for 6. And the 2-point conversion on the way. Try to give Kenton a 6-point lead in this one. McFarland goes back. He is the recipient of the pass and takes it in for 2. Here's another look at it. Or not. 34-28, Kenton back on top of Shawnee. We'll be back after this on WOSN. Tonight's touchdown sponsor is Elida Building and Contracting. Call Brian Wheeler at Elida Building and Contracting. Commitment to quality and community. Elida Building and Contracting, 48 years of trust, 48 years of experience. Could be first to 48 wins here tonight between Shawnee and Kenton. Kenton up 34-28. Still just less than 9 minutes to go in quarter number 3.
Yeah, I think that 48-point mark might be a low on the low side for what the final score for the winning team will be.
Ball taken out to the 32-yard line, and that's where Shawnee will take over. And for the Indians, you'd have to think, man, we've been getting stopped here on these last few drives. We need to get the offense back up and going, or this one could actually start to get kind of ugly for the Shawnee Indians.
Yeah, momentum is completely on the side of the Wildcats. Shawnee has had opportunities. They just haven't been able to cash it in. You know, it wasn't that long ago in gameplay time at least where we're talking about Shawnee with an opportunity to potentially grow a 2-score lead. They can't do anything on either one of their last 2 possessions that they had in the second quarter. They come up empty, even with a great field position here to start the third. And now we're seeing that this offense just not having the same type of success moving the football like they did in the first half.
Spiker out to the 35, and that's all. Of course, along with that, you have to wonder what Caleb Bacon's mobility is like. Is that going to be something that they're going to be forced to make a change to? As you mentioned, you can go back to J.J. Spiker at quarterback, but that takes an athlete off the board, essentially, a guy who's actually had a pretty good night running and catching the football for you.
Yeah, he has been absolutely incredible for them in the backfield, being able to carry it, running it out on those screens as well. So you don't want to lose that weapon, but, at a certain point it's a risk versus reward type situation.
Man in motion, 2nd down and 7. Spiker going in motion. He gets the football and drops it, and that they marked that incomplete or a fumble. I think they marked it incomplete.
They marked it incomplete, and they are very, I think
and they might have gotten away with one there. Here's another look at it.
This looked like this one. Actually, I think at the very end there, you saw Spiker kind of move up, and that made that one even along that line of scrimmage. They are very lucky because it also looks like they were trying to set up that halfback pass again, and if they had and let that go, it wasn't going to work anyway because it was no longer a backwards pass that started it.
Lone in the backfield, 3rd and 7. Bacon looking long, looking for Garlock, and has got him! And he's going to take it in for the line of building and contracting touchdown. Touchdown number 3 for Garlock.
I don't know who taught that kid how to catch, but I'd like to shake his hand, Patrick.
I think it was his mother. What a shot. Here's a look at it.
They've been trying to stretch this field for a while now, and that nice little pump fake there by Bacon. And Garlock was able to get behind the defenders, runs that one in, his 3rd touchdown of the game, and that gives this Shawnee team life.
Shawnee has tied it back up at 34, and a definitely needed shot for the Shawnee Indians as they will attempt the extra point to take a 1-point lead. Here's the kick up, and it's going to be no good. Tied here at 34 with 8:07 to go in quarter number 3. Strap in. Here we go on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's instant replay sponsor is Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken in Lima, Wapak, Delphus, and St. Mary's. Call Lee's for all your catering needs. Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, where home style happens here. Shawnee, with a long pass play, has tied this one up at 34. Michael Garlock with his 3rd touchdown of the night. As we mentioned, touchdowns pretty sparse for the young man heading into this one. He's got the hat trick here so far this evening. Yeah,
and, this is one of the parts of that Shawnee offense that they knew that they'd had even in the preseason. They knew that they could be a good deep ball throwing team. It just hasn't always been there, hasn't been able to click, or it hasn't ended in touchdowns. They've been able to get those deep passes, and they got themselves inside the red zone, but then couldn't finish those drives.
Ball squirts out to the 8 and will be thrown out, and that's going to be a flag. There it is. So. And there's another one, I believe.
I'm not sure who ended up on that tackle that flung him.
See, they're on the screen.
So we'll see what happened.
This might be offsetting penalties. We'll see what the other flag was about. I didn't see what happened that had the other flag get thrown.
I think there might have been a push after that one from a Kenton player who wasn't happy that obviously one of his teammates had gotten taken down that hard out of bounds. I couldn't see who was the Shawnee player that flung him once they were down there. Holding on the receiving team.
So we got the dead ball foul. Sportsmanlike conduct on Shawnee. There's been a lot to keep track of tonight.
So the officials trying to get
they're
this
trying
one
to sort
right.
out where the ball is going to be
yardage.
placed. The runner for Kenton, I believe it was Ty Coombs who returned the ball. So he was pushed out of bounds, I think around maybe was it the 11 or 12 yard line? So, I'd say the 13-yard line because they're going to mark the penalty yardage off. And down to the 28-yard line, and that is where Kenton will get started.
So there's been quite a few of those personal fouls in this one, and players are going to have to be careful. They get that second one, and I believe the rule is, correct me if I'm wrong, Patrick, but 2 personal fouls in a game and they're out, correct? Or is that
I
just
believe
at college?
No, I think it applies here too. The interesting thing, though, is that I don't know that they called it on a specific player. They called it, so I think the difference is if it isn't necessarily tied to a player, and don't ask me to unwrap how that works.
So now there's still some conversations happening.
They're still talking about it. They need a moment to figure it out. We don't have any hope up here.
You're not wrong about that one. You know what, though, and I know a lot of people get frustrated. We've seen the officials get together a lot to talk, and they want the play to go. But I would much rather see this out of officiating crews than the other thing where there is no conversation. They're just kind of flying. Like, talk about it. I'm fine with you talking about it. Let's get it right, and
yes.
And then we can move on from there.
Yeah. And I, as you said, I would second that. I would much rather see them getting together, talking about things, figuring it out. Now they're moving the ball back. It was at the 28-yard line. They're going to move it back to the 17-yard line. So that is more indicative of a penalty against both sides. So I don't think they offset because one was during the play and one was a dead ball foul.
So at least we're back to playing football now.
For the moment. Johnston in trouble, is going to be sacked. Shawnee pressure finally reaching home tonight.
Lakias Richardson got into the backfield. Really the first time that Corbin Johnson hasn't been able to get out of trouble. And I think you saw Lakias there. He was a little shocked that he was as open as he was. No one picked him up, and he had a free run to the quarterback.
Shawnee having to get set up quickly. Johnston rolling to his right and is going to get hit out of bounds.
I do love how Kenton responded to that one, though, as they didn't waste any time. Shawnee was celebrating that sack, and they're like, we're going to the line. We're going.
Yeah.
And it caught the Shawnee defense off guard a little bit.
Which they've done all night. I mean, that wasn't really a shocking thing for Kenton to do. They've been very quick to the line throughout the night. Man in motion, 3rd and 12. Johnston back to pass, lets this one go, is complete. Air to Beasley at the 25 and gets the additional yardage down to the 34, and that'll be a Kenton Moose first down.
And it's just a simple wheel route as Grady Beasley comes out of the backfield. Nobody picks him up, and it's the frustrating thing if you're a Shawnee fan and you're watching this, and how are these guys going unmarked? But you got to give Kenton a ton of credit. They're doing a nice job of finding the soft spots in the defense, as you see them do it yet again on that one and picking up big chunk yardage.
Perkins out to the 44-yard line, going to be just shy of the first down. And there is something to be said. Obviously, there's having the soft spots in the defense, and then there's finding them. And as you watch quarterbacks don't always have the ability to find those spots consistently. And what you're seeing from Johnson tonight is really that ability to find who the open guy is out there and hit them consistently.
And this is something that Johnson has done, like you said, consistently, and not just in this game and not just this season. He had a heck of a year last year as well. And, unfortunately for him, because of the lack of success that his teams have had, he goes a little underappreciated. He doesn't quite get the same type of attention that, maybe, a Caleb Moyer or some of these other guys get. But his numbers are as good or better than any of those guys. He has played really well for this Kenton Wildcat team.
He's gone over 30 touchdowns passing the season, and he's doing pretty well on the ground as well. Takes it out to the 35-yard line. Another Kenton Moose first down as the Wildcats continuing to move this football on the Shawnee defense.
Yeah, the official took the worst end of that one as that one came through the middle. He ended up down. He seems okay, though.
On first down, Beasley once again getting a full head of steam, about 5 yards before he is stopped. Second down.
Shawnee trying to add somebody into that front defensive line, trying to see if they can't send an extra body here. Still looking to force their first punt of the night.
Ball comes loose, and
ground.
Johnston's going to have to dive on it, and he does, to keep the possession and keep a fourth turnover from happening to the Kenton Wildcats.
Scary second there if you're a Shawnee fan. You saw Caius Richardson down, looked like he was in some pain, but just took a moment, was able to get up, and looks like he's going to be okay. Shawnee almost gets themselves another turnover, and it's 3rd and 10. Shawnee yet to be able to force a long 4th down try. See if they can do it here.
Here's Johnston on 3rd and long. Running out. He's got plenty of green in front of him. He's going to take all of it. Kenton moves first down and goes out of bounds wisely at the 20-yard line. So picks up the Kenton moves first down using his legs, and once again a 3rd down conversion for the Kenton Wildcats.
Yeah, great recognition that time by Johnson. Absolutely no containment. He was able to roll to that right and saw that there was nobody within 15 yards of him. Didn't waste any more time looking downfield. Picked up the first down, and Kenton driving yet again.
Hand off to Beasley on first down. Takes a shot there at the 15-yard line. Hangs on to the football most importantly. That'll be a nice 6-yard pickup.
J.J. Spiker coming flying in there to deliver that hit to Grady Beasley. Beasley did a great job of absorbing that as he was able to hold on to the football.
Coming up on the 5-minute mark here in quarter number 3. All tied at 34, but Kenton on the march. Johnston bouncing outside. It looks like he might have lost his footing as he's down at the 10.
Yeah, fortunate that time for Shawnee, because it looked like if he's able to keep his feet, he moves so well laterally that he was going to be able to go to that corner, been able to get another touchdown. Lost his footing. Joel Stern there to make sure that he finished off that tackle. Yeah, it's still going to be 3rd and short, though, for the Wildcats.
And off to Beasley, and Beasley keeps his footing but is powering into the end zone and gets in there for an Elida Building and Contracting touchdown as Kenton retakes the lead.
Points of no shortage here tonight. Grady Beasley's making sure that is. I've lost track. That's his 2nd or 3rd touchdown of the night as well.
I think you're right, yeah.
He's done a nice job for them, getting some hard yardage as he's been able to go right through the heart of that Shawnee defense.
And now the Wildcats will line up for their next 2-point conversion try.
They're 2 of 4 tonight. Not had the greatest of success, but they made it look easy last time.
Beasley hit behind the line of scrimmage, and he is stopped. So the 2-point conversion is no good, and that will keep it a 6-point Kenton lead, 40-34. 4:31 to go here in quarter number 3. We'll be back. Tonight's touchdown sponsor is Elida Building and Contracting. Call Brian Wheeler at Elida Building and Contracting. Commitment to quality and community. Elida Building and Contracting, 48 years of trust, 48 years of experience. Nate, you might be right. I don't think 48 points is going to get it done tonight. I think that it's going to take more points for one of these teams to emerge victorious.
Yeah, this one may, as cliche as it sounds, it's going to come down to who has the football last, I think. And, that – I don't know. Sometimes you're just at a loss. We keep kind of saying the same things, but the defenses aren't making adjustments. The offenses are doing a nice job of taking advantage of that. I do feel like Kenton has had the edge offensively and defensively, even though this is a 40-34 game. But, Shawnee has done what they needed to do. They have missed a few opportunities. But, hey, it's a 6-point game, 4:30 left to go here in the 3rd. I don't think scoring's done by a long shot.
Wildcats kicking off, fielded at the 31-yard line. Looking for some space there and not finding any. It'll be down at the 26-yard line. That's where the Indians will start their next drive. Joel Stem returning that one.
Yeah, he does a lot for him. Joel Stern's also the punter for this team. We saw him do some place kicking. Now he's kick returning. He also plays safety, plays a little wide receiver. He is all over the field for this Shawnee team. He's had a great senior season. And the opportunity there, it looked like he was going to try to break that as he kind of changed course a couple of different times. But Kenton does a nice job making sure that they had that one covered. Shawnee now coming out on ball on the 26, and we'll see if they can continue having success move the football. They haven't been as consistent as Kenton has doing it, but they picked up the big plays when necessary.
Since September 13th, Shawnee has scored 38 points. They've scored 34 tonight. Here's the handoff on first down. Out across the 30 to 31 is J.J. Spiker.
Nice tough run, as we've seen Spiker do all night long. He took that first contact, made a guy miss, didn't let that stop him as he continued to turn, tried to spin out of it, picked up about another 3 yards. Yards after contact have been big for J.J. Spiker tonight.
A large part of the offense tonight as to why Shawnee's been able to put 34 points up. Also, by the way, Kenton 4 points away from their season high. They scored 44 points last week, in a losing effort to Van Wert. I'm feeling like they're probably going to match that tonight. Bacon, under duress, throws that one away. As whatever that particular play is, Kenton has got that one snuffed out.
Yeah, Ken's doing a nice job of timing their blitzes. They're not sending it every single time, but they seem to have the tempo or rhythm of the Shawnee play calling down, and they're dialing up those blitzes when they're necessary. Bacon not having the time, which is unfortunate because if you look at the receivers on those plays, there's several of them that are open and with a lot of green in front of them. So Ken doing a nice job making sure that Shawnee doesn't hit those big plays on every other play. They got to find a way to block a little bit better. You've seen them try to put some extra help into the backfield with Bacon and do some chip blocking, but that hasn't been enough yet.
3rd down and 5. Bacon in trouble again. Tries to tuck and run, and he will be sacked. 2-yard loss, trying to get something there on 3rd down, and Shawnee forced to punt.
One of the things with this Shawnee team, and if you followed this team and watched them this year, is there's not a lot of ad-libbing out of the receivers once the initial look isn't there. And I think that's the big difference that you're seeing in Kenton and Shawnee. When Johnson gets moving around, those receivers are constantly moving. They're looking for open spots. They're creating a different, essentially a different route coming out of that break. Shawnee, not so much. Those guys come out, they turn around, it's not there. Instead of continuing to work to maybe get open, we've seen Bacon have to throw that one away. That time he tried to tuck it and run.
And you have to wonder if maybe you saw a little bit more ad-libbing. There's a shot on the punt return out of the 35. Going nowhere, and let's take another look at this.
As you can see, no fair catch. Does a nice job of timing this up. As soon as he catches it, he lowered his shoulder and delivers a big pop. A great legal hit. And I'll tell you what, you got to give the Kenton returner, I didn't catch his number, but you've got to give them a tremendous credit for holding on to that. But there is a late flag, so maybe.
So they threw a flag as the officials got together, and I wonder if there was some helmet contact on that hit.
Yeah, if they're going to say, or maybe, I'm not quite sure what the halo rule is. Maybe the yardage wasn't right. Illegal procedure against Shawnee. I don't know what that means.
If that was on the 4th down punt, that's a really late flag.
Was it false start? Was it illegal procedure? What? I'm not sure what exactly that call was on. So we thought maybe if there was going to be a flag, it was going to be on the hit on the back end. It wasn't. It looks like it was something farther down the field, but doesn't look like we're going to get much more explanation as the officials are over there talking to Coach Turner right now, explaining to him what's going on.
Zach Turner is out there once again asking for an explanation. Ball currently spotted at the 35-yard line.
So it looks like Kenton declined that penalty, so there's not going to be a re-kick. So I think your initial thoughts were right that, hey, that's 4th down. We should have a do-over. But Kenton's like, no, we're fine. Give us the ball. We're going to go down and score.
Right, yeah. We feel pretty good about our offense. We're just going to keep this rolling. 2:47 remaining here in quarter number 3. Kenton with a 6-point lead on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard and looking for more. Flag comes out on this play as it is blown dead. One of the Kenton players really got a head start.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit like the Arena League where you get that running start and didn't time that one up as he crossed that line of scrimmage prior to the snap.
So Bushong was, I think, about a yard or 2 there past the line of scrimmage when they snapped the ball. Good try, though.
Yeah, and if you're Kenton, you're like, all right, well, we'll try, no big deal. I mean, 15 yards doesn't really seem like a whole lot with the way they're playing right now, to be honest with you.
Johnson lets this one go, and the pass is complete. McFarland once again brings that in, the 48. Kenton moves first down, and Johnston has been surgical here tonight.
Yeah, we don't have any real stats in front of us, but I'm telling you, the yardage that some of these guys have, I mean, it's incredible. I can't wait to see what the total offense was for both teams.
No doubt he's gone over 3,000 yards. That pass incomplete. Beasley unable to bring that one in.
And really, I'll tell you what, Patrick, that's really about the only time that we've seen Kenton is when they have made a mistake themselves. It hasn't been Shawnee forcing something outside of one sack. Other than that, it's really been Kenton beating themselves on drives.
Yeah, and I think that's something that the coaches will probably look at. Here is Johnston taking the ball himself, having some space, tripped up at around the 40-yard line. He's going to have a Kenton moves first down. And, that's something that, as you mentioned, we've seen is that Kenton really has stopped themselves more often than, say, Shawnee has gotten them.
Yeah, you saw Nick Luna fortunate to get the trip up that time. He did a nice job, or Johnson might have been able to run all the way to the end zone. Finally, you see that defensive line of Shawnee able to wrap up Beasley for a very short gain.
Out to the 39-yard line, 2nd down and 9 coming up.
Shawnee could really use one of those timely turnovers right now.
So that has really what has kept them in this game. Johnston looking long, has a man. Perkins brings it. No, incomplete. Perkins had another touchdown.
And I think Perkins is going to argue that he had it, and maybe, I don't know if we'll see an instant replay or not. You and I both thought that he had that, and that was a touchdown. His teammates were celebrating like he walked in. So
is it the old Calvin Johnson fumble-roo from years ago? Here's another look at it.
He caught it. Maybe they're saying he fumbled it out of the back in the end zone.
So it's Shawnee football from the turnover. So fumble on the play for Kenton. And rolls out of the end zone, so that's Shawnee football.
That is incredible.
I mean, folks, I'm looking for the hot air balloon right now. I am. I'm looking.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, we are seeing. I don't remember the last time I saw that play at the high school level. That might be the first time I've ever seen it live.
I think I saw it last night. No joke. I saw it last night. Yeah, it was.
You were over in Delphos Jefferson.
I was at Delphos Jefferson, Spencerville, and there was a fumble that rolled out of the. They were moving. Actually, well, it was almost the same play. They're going in for a touchdown. The ball rolled out the side of the end zone, and that's a turnover for the other team. Because I held that happen. I'm like, I just watched that happen. And it's like, yeah, just last night.
Well, we said they needed a timely turnover. They got one. Kenton making a mistake yet again. We'll see if Shawnee can make them pay for it.
Bacon back to pass on first down. Lets this one go. Pass is complete out to the 29-yard line. Very close to a Kenton moves first down.
And this is what I like to see out of Shawnee coming out. Instead of trying to take those big shots constantly, Bacon not having a lot of time to throw the football, and then you ended up turning it back over really quickly. Hey, let's easy outs. Let's just move the football. Let's pick up our yardage. Pick your points. If you want to go deep again, great. but you don't have to get it all on one play. You've shown that you can move it against this Kenton defense. Get back to basics here and get some positive things going.
Bakem under center, 1:01 remaining here in the third quarter. Spiker carrying defenders out to the 35, just shy of the 36-yard line. Good for a Kenton Moose first down. Here's another look at it. Of course, one of the big stories in the state of Ohio, Marion Local has set the record for most consecutive wins, 35-0, their victory over Coldwater.
Unbelievable. I mean, we can talk about it a little bit later if we want to get into it a little bit more, but that might be the best Marion Local team that's ever walked the halls over there in Maria Stein.
Here's J.J. Spiker, and here's a nice play, keeping his feet, gets the first down and then some across the timeline into plus territory at the 45 for Shawnee, and the Indians are on a roll now.
Good running by Spiker, finding the holes, good blocking on the edge, and making one guy miss as he kept his balance. We've seen him been able to do that all night long. And now Shawnee getting a little bit of momentum back going their way.
Clock running with 14 seconds to go in the third quarter, and Shawnee, we'll see if they get one more play in. It might be close. Probably not going to happen. And they get a jump, so that's going to end the third quarter.
Well, we'll see. Well, if they're going to say the clock ended before the jump, we'll see what happens.
I don't think.
And they're going to move the ball. They're going to say false start.
Now, does Shawnee get an untimed down?
And I don't know.
We're digging into the back of the rule book here tonight.
I'll tell you what, seeing all sorts of new rules that I haven't seen in a while.
Let's just go to break, and we'll just think about coming back. Fourth quarter coming back when we come back, 40-34. Kenton on top here on WOSN.
Yeah, I think they're bringing it.
Welcome back. Tonight's scoreboard is brought to you by Ultimate Outdoor. Bring resort-style living to your backyard every day with a luxury outdoor space by Ultimate Outdoor. Fourth quarter getting started here from Shawnee Stadium. They picked the flag up, so no penalty.
They got together, and it looks like they decided that the clock actually ended prior to Kenton. And we're going to have another deep ball.
Bakem lets it go, has a man caught and down for an Elida Building and Contracting touchdown. And the Indians have tied this one up at 40.
That's Reese Davidson right down the middle. Great play fake that time. Felt the pressure coming, let it go. And Kenton was very close to knocking that one down. Great concentration by Davidson as he hauled that one in and walked into the end zone for the touchdown. Well, I think that your prediction of 48 definitely maybe it stands, but that would mean the defenses would have to start getting some holds here.
This is turning into NFL blitz. Kick is up. Only a certain percentage of you are going to get that joke. Kick is up, and it is good. Shawnee retakes the lead, 41-40. He's on fire here on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's touchdown sponsor is Elida Building and Contracting. Call Brian Wheeler at Elida Building and Contracting. Commitment to quality and community. Elida Building and Contracting. 48 years of trust, 48 years of experience. Well, if you go around different parts of your neighborhood or maybe in your own house, depending where you are, and you find that the dogs and the cats are living together in harmony, would not be any more surprising than what we have seen and transpired in this football game so far.
It has been very entertaining if you are an offensive-minded person. If you love defense, you are pulling your hair out right now. It's gotten so bad that the Shawnee cheerleaders, they've given up on the push-ups. They have gone to jumping jacks now. And I don't blame them. I would have done that around the 10th point. Did that go into the end zone? It did.
Yeah, went into the end zone. That's a touchback.
So that ends up being a great kick as that went right into the corner. They let that one go. It goes through the end zone. So nice touchback there for Shawnee.
Well, look, as we said, Shawnee had scored since September 13th. They'd only scored 38 points. So, I mean, that's not a lot of push-ups to handle. Well, They scored 41 tonight. It's like, okay.
Yeah, they unfortunately
chest day is done. We got to move on to something else.
And I, like I said, and Shawnee scored about 10. I'd have been like, all right, great, we're going to go to jumping jacks now. I wouldn't have moved beyond that. So they lasted longer than I would have.
Right. After the third touchdown, he was like, okay, we got to.
You guys get the point, right?
Right. You guys understand, right?
And now you see some gang tackling here as Shawnee was rallying to the football that time.
Full head of steam. There's Shawnee with their ears pinned back, seeing if they can get a stop on defense and get the football back and try to extend this lead. Largest lead of the night for Shawnee was 13 points. That was 13-0 early on in this contest. Here's a handoff to Beasley on second down, and he doesn't get much of anything. And the Indians playing with a little bit more fire in their belly on defense now.
Yeah, we're seeing them be able to get in there, and they're doing a nice job of reading those holes and filling them quickly. So we'll see, though. This is where they have gotten themselves into trouble. They start feeling good about the stops that they've made, and then all of a sudden Corbin Johnson just takes control. He's calm and collected back there in the pocket, and we have been seeing big plays out of Kenton in these exact spots.
5 wide for Johnson on 3rd and 7. Lets this one go. Pass is complete. Tackle missed. First down and then some. It's going to be a foot race. The question is who's going to win it. It's going to be Shawnee catching him, but not before a big gain on 3rd down. And once again, a 3rd down conversion for this Kenton offense. Zane Perkins bringing this one in.
You know, for the record, it's difficult being right all the time. It's my burden to bear.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Man,
but you know, it's just kind of the way this game has gone for both sides. Really, they have been eaten up by these big plays at just the wrong times. The defenses do a nice job. You saw Shawnee be able to stop that run game, and then right on cue, Corbin Johnson does a great job delivering a ball. One missed tackle later, and Perkins gets it all the way inside the 15.
Johnston. And the chain gang is kind of taking their sweet time, although I don't think it's going to matter. Touchdown. Elida Building and Contracting touchdown for the Wildcats.
Yeah, the chain gang wasn't set, but Johnson says, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. That's a great ball. Defense wasn't bad that time. They're playing the player, though. They never picked the ball up when it was in the air, and he put that in a great spot. As that was number 22, Maddox McFarland, the freshman, with another touchdown grab.
And that was, as you mentioned, that was a great catch. Used both hands, secured it, brought it in. Easy for that to get knocked away, but he brought that in. And now a 2-point conversion. Try to give a 7-point lead to the Wildcats, swinging out to Perkins, and that's exactly what they'll get. So there it is, 48 points. You talk about being right all the time. 48-41, Kenton on top of Shawnee. This one far from over on WOSN. Welcome back. The offenses are awesome. The defenses are apoplectic. 48-41, Kenton with the 7-point lead on Shawnee. And still 10 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter.
Big play after big play. You really feel like at this point, I know we said it's going to who has the ball last, but I do think that even more importantly than that, it's going to be the team that is able to the defense that's able to get the stop when it counts the most. That's
right.
I think what it's really going to come down to here as we move through this 4th quarter.
And what's interesting is that you've had these teams kind of getting stops in their own way. So Shawnee has gotten what little stops they've gotten have come from turnovers. They've been able to force turnovers out of Kenton tonight. Kenton has been able to get those 3-and-outs and force Shawnee to punt. That's where their success has been. But, I mean, you look at the scoreboard and you look at, the fact that it's been 89 points combined between the two teams scored, and you go, okay, this has not really been a defensive showcase.
And we have another stoppage of play here as the head official is moving over. Not sure what happened there.
Is he looking at the
But now he's
band?
back and ready to go, I guess.
He was looking at the Kenton band. I don't know if that had anything to do with why we stopped, but here we go. This is J.J. Spiker using the B button there to the 40-yard line. Picks up 3.
Yeah, great spin move. Get back to the middle of the field. Picked up some good yardage where it looked like the initial hole he was trying to go through closed up pretty quickly.
Something else I will say I noticed too is that we've seen these teams hit these big plays, and you haven't seen any of them called back for holding or things like that stuff. Things that you see from teams that are struggling, that have 1-8 records or 2-7 records this part of the year. They're hitting these plays, and they're not getting called back. They're not committing silly penalties and shooting themselves in the foot.
And that's one of the things because of all the stuff that we have seen tonight and all the weird plays and all the stuff that's gone on, what you haven't seen is a lot of holding penalties, right? We've seen one PI at that point.
Yep.
We haven't seen face masks. We haven't seen those types of things tonight. They've played pretty clean. It's been more of the emotional stuff, I would say, has been flagged more than anything.
Spiker nearly to the 50. Does get enough for a Kenton Moose first down. As the ball will be spotted at the 49. Back and forth we go here as Shawnee now on the move with 9:20 and counting remaining in the fourth quarter. Man in motion, and Bacom is just going to keep this one full head of steam through the hole and down to the 25-yard line. A Kenton Moose first down, and Bacom moving pretty well when he has to.
Yeah, hurt leg. Who's hurt leg? Good explosion right through that hole. And that was all set up by that motion of J.J. Spiker. Saw him swing out. Kenton had to honor that because that's how they set up that halfback pass. So everybody kind of froze thinking that maybe that toss was coming, and that left a wide open hole for Bacom to take it down. Great play design.
So they've gone to Spiker a number of times on that design, and as you said, great move by Bacom, great play design, and they pick up a chunk of yardage and another first down. So here come the Indians. Here's Spiker working that far side out to the 20 to the 19-yard line. He picks up 7.
Yeah, it was a great job. They set Garlock in motion so they could clear out that right side, so it was just a race to the edge. Spiker did a nice job of getting to it, turned upfield, and got inside the 20. One of my favorite traditions in all of high school sports. I love what the Shawnee band does during the fourth quarter. You can probably hear them on the playback here right now. They walk through the homestands, work with the cheerleaders, play some songs, have a good time. And it's one of my favorite things about coming to the Shawnee games.
See if they can celebrate a win tonight. Here is Spiker on the pitch, working that left side, getting a couple of yards on the carry.
And he honestly had no business even getting those yards. As you see, the toss that's actually behind him kind of slowed his momentum down. That allowed that defense to catch up pretty quickly. And he's able to pick up a short yardage, but we must have had a penalty because everybody's coming back.
And that replay, I thought I saw a hold. And I think that's what they called.
So everybody that
holding on the offense.
Everybody that wants to send the hate mail, you can send it directly to the station, care of Patrick, for jinxing them for the holding penalties. It definitely wasn't me who brought that up.
I'm surprised it took a few plays for it to happen. I thought the very next play, here it comes. And I thought, you know what? I'm still waiting for the hot air balloon to land at the 50-yard line. So, that's all right. Send your hate mail to jbeck@wtlw.com. Second down and 16. She gets everything else. Why stop there? Bacom back to pass. Looking long. Looking end zone. And tipped. I thought that was going to be an interception.
Yeah, and actually I think
knocked away.
Yeah, I think the best thing that happened for Shawnee is that was double covered. Because that one was underthrown a bit. As you're going to see Bacom trying to hook up with Garlock for another touchdown. And they actually, number 1, that is Maddox Hommel, actually tipped that out of the hands of Perkins, who that was probably going to be easier than any touchdown catch he had tonight.
Right, yeah, Hommel really knocking that one away. And 3rd and 16 now for Shawnee. Five wide, Bacom back to pass, 3rd and long.
Got to give yourself a chance here on 4th down. Pick up some yardage.
J.J. Spiker picks up a few back to the original line of scrimmage. And
there's the flag.
Flags all over the place.
Flags. As J.J. got lit up at the end there. And
yeah.
I really don't think that Hummel was being intentional. I don't think he heard the whistle. I think he saw J.J. and I don't know if he thought the play was continuing.
Here's another look at it. So Spiker goes down there.
Yeah, see, he keeps running, so
he
Hummel just
was
comes
running,
up.
and Hummel
That's hard to blame Hummel on that one, as Spiker continued to act like he wasn't down, so Hummel playing to the whistle. It's hard for us to hear up there if they did whistle him down, but that is a huge call for Shawnee, as that's going to keep this drive alive.
And, it is a penalty against Hummel, but you know what? If I'm coaching him, that's the play I want him to make. It's like, okay, if the guy is up, tackle him.
Yeah.
And, I want you to hear the whistle, but even so, I want you to be trained to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, to me, watching that replay, there is absolutely nothing dirty or anything that was, he was trying to take a cheap shot. Look, Spiker got hit. His knees didn't go down. He got up, kept running, and Hummel cleaned the play up. It's just an unfortunate call for the Wildcats.
Kenton moves first down, pitch out to Spiker. And he is staying up. Thought he was going to be tackled at the 5 and continues to churn and to inside the 3-yard line. I tell you, Spiker has just done a great job of getting yards after contact tonight.
Yeah, he is. I don't know that we have seen him go down on first contact yet. As he continues to bounce off of it, they've had to put 2 or 3 guys to bring him down. He's fitting into some tight spots, kept his feet going, picked up some big yardage. Did it there again. As it looked like you were right. That was going to be a short gain, and somehow he still almost punched it into the end zone.
2nd down and 2. Shawnee can get a first down without a touchdown. Bacon pitch. Spiker with blockers and takes it in for an Elida Building and Contracting touchdown. Back and forth we go as Shawnee an extra point away from tying this one up again.
A huge hole opens up here on this left side. Great blocking by his teammates on the edge. He goes in untouched. As Shawnee now just the extra point away from a tie, and it's not going to take 48, Patrick. It looks like it's going to take a little bit more.
More than that, yep.
Now it's all pending an extra point, I guess. Great, I'm going to end up with more letters now if this still doesn't go in.
I think of all the people that might get letters after this game, I don't think it's going to be us.
I actually think they're going for 2 here.
You're mentioning Bacon going back in there, so I think you're right. I think they are going to go for 2.
They've decided they want to go for the lead. They'd rather be in positions to win this one late.
Interesting.
So we'll see how they play this one. They're going to try to go right
Pitch
back to
Spiker,
what worked.
And it not working that time. Kenton all over it. So the 2-point conversion, no good. Kenton maintains the lead, 48-47 over Shawnee. We'll be back on WOSN. Tonight's instant replay sponsor is Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken in Lima, Wapak, Delphus, and St. Mary's. Call Lee's for all your catering needs. Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, where home style happens. Well, I'll tell you what, after this game, if you aren't hungry, wanting to build a house, want to get a pet moose, or build a gazebo in the back of your yard, maybe advertising doesn't really work that well.
I'll tell you what, in the time that we've had this game tonight with all this scoring, you actually could have gotten all of those things and still been able to catch the end of this one.
Yeah. Very appreciative of all of our sponsors who come alongside and help us produce these broadcasts every single week. And, hey, there's something we hadn't seen yet. Ball going out of bounds on the kickoff.
So not real sure what the thought process there is they've done actually a pretty nice job all night long covering those kickoff returns. So not sure, I don't know. That's why I don't coach football, because my mind doesn't work like that.
Could have been an accident, most likely.
Well, I'm sure too, right? Hey, let's squib it. We get it down there. Maybe they watch it. We put some pressure on it. Maybe we can force another turnover down there, And unfortunately for Shawnee, that just kind of continued to travel out of bounds. But now Kenton, who you have had a hard time stopping, is going to get pretty decent field position to start this one.
Going to really need another turnover that Shawnee has been able to do. I think Kenton has been forced into 5 turnovers tonight, I think.
2,
3 fumbles.
They had 3 fumbles,
2 interceptions?
1 interception.
1 interception.
Yeah, so I think 4. I think
okay,
we're at
4
4 right now.
Okay.
Yep.
Shawnee, of course, looking to see if they can force one more. Here's Beasley on the handoff on first down, out to the 41.
And now if you're Kenton, you just say, hey, we're going to put this in the hands of Johnson and Beasley and let them use their feet here, bleed this clock. We don't want to give Shawnee any time if we're able to get this one into the end zone. Or do you say what's working, which has been going to the air and picking up chunk yardage? But when you do that, you do risk a chance for incompletion, even though we haven't had a ton of those tonight.
Right. Play action. Johnston going long, and that is incomplete. Flag coming out at the end.
They're going to call PI on Hobson. That was awfully close, but that's going to be pass interference against Shawnee.
All the officials are on that one, and I think you're right. DPI is forthcoming, and I agree with you. It looks like it was close. I don't know that I would have called it, but then that's probably why I'm sitting up here.
But like I was just talking about how Kenton played this, and they're not getting away from what's good for them. They aired that one out. They are not afraid to take chances. A lot of confidence in those receivers, and why wouldn't they? They have played incredible tonight.
And you've established this rhythm, and there's really no reason to go away from it. You've got a 1-point lead. You can extend that you could possibly extend it to a 2-possession game with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion here. So I would mess with that at my peril. Beasley fighting for extra yardage and making sure everybody heard the whistle there as a 2-yard pickup. So modest gain on that will bring up 2nd down and 8. Coming up 5:23 and counting here in quarter number 4. Kenton with a 1-point lead, looking to add to it. Johnston slings it. Pass is complete. Out to the 36-yard line. Bushong making the catch. And 3rd down coming up.
Kenton wanted to stay with this up-tempo. Quick substitution coming in. Did they stop the clock here?
They did. Was there an official's timeout?
I'm not real sure what happened there, to be honest with you. Kind of seems the theme for tonight. I don't know what is happening.
You could sum up this game in one word. It would probably be, huh?
And actually, the official came over and was over.
Oh, they told the band to be quiet. They told the band to stop playing.
I have never seen that. They do this every home game. And maybe that's what the same thing that happened on the other side when we saw him talking to the Kenton band. He told them no.
Maybe. Okay. History made yet again here at Shawnee. Johnston slinging it out, almost intercepted.
And I'll tell you what, if DePalma holds on to that, he's going the other way. There is nobody that would have caught him. Nobody in front of him, and nobody was coming from behind either. That was a big opportunity for Shawnee. And if you're Kenton, you're not punting this. You are going for this one right here.
So 4th down. Can Shawnee get the stop? Johnston back to throw with time. Pass complete to Bushong for a Columbus 1st down. Ball comes out. This one is a fumble, and Shawnee has it at the 12.
And Shawnee.
Oh, my goodness.
They are getting these turnovers when they need them. 4:42 left to go in this one, and that is the 5th turnover of the game. I'll tell you what, the Indians, hey, there might just be something on their side here tonight.
That was Perkins who made the catch. That was his 2nd fumble of the night. Is the band going to play? I would play if I were the band.
I don't know what's going on. I'm not. Yeah, they're back to
play. Yeah. Bacon out across the 13.
Yeah, not as much luck this time. They tried the same play that led to a really long run by Bacon on their last possession. as they had sent Spiker in motion looking for that toss. Kenton did a nice job of snuffing that out, realizing what was going on.
So the band is minimum accompaniment as they were singing. So I don't know if that's...
I guess they have to go a cappella for the rest of the game.
Trombone and, yeah. Meanwhile, back to football, 2nd down and 8. Bacon fakes the going long across the middle, and Perkins gets it back with an interception over the top of Davidson to snag that one out of the sky.
Dangerous throw that time as Bacon faked the toss, did a pump fake, and then went to the middle of the field. There was double coverage there. What a great job tracking the ball by Perkins, making up for that fumble. And just like that, Kenton back with the football. Not a lot of time came off the clock. So they get a new set of downs. 3:54 left to work here as they're going to try to milk this clock. And that failed 2-point conversion looming very large right now.
The question with that, though, Nate, is can Kenton milk the clock? Do they have that
That's
mechanism?
Very true. You're right. They may just go ahead and try to put one in the end zone right now.
They may just say, hey, you know what, all gas, no brake. Here we go. Johnston with the carry on 1st down, and he picks up a nice gain there, about 7-8 yards. Of course, if you can do that every single down, then, yeah, you can milk the clock with no problem.
Well, and if you're Shawnee, too, it gets real. Coach Wireman, it's really tricky right now to know how to use your timeouts because your team hasn't shown the ability to stop Kenton yet on, 3 or 4 downs in a row.
Yeah.
So at what point do you have to do some clock management here? But it's one of those things where it's like, well, should we just let Kenton score maybe, and then we can try to do our own thing and then use the timeouts on our drive? And, a lot going on here in this last 3 minutes.
Haven't seen a pick 6 yet. Just thought I'd throw that out there. 2nd down and 4, handoff. This is Beasley working up the middle, stretches out across the 40, and that's where they'll stop in 3rd down.
Nick Luna was in on that stop. He's had a nice game at linebacker tonight. We've seen him involved with a bunch of stops. He's been able to get into the backfield a couple of different times, and this defense needs to come up with a big stop right here.
3rd and 2. 2:31 to go. A needed stop for the Shawnee Indians trying to get the football back. Johnston in the gun, hands off to Beasley. Beasley, Kenton Moose 1st down and then some. Still on his feet down to the 33-yard line, and that will move the sticks.
There's a chance here in about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So I'm going to have to tell you I'm sorry. Because that 48 looks like it might hold up. You might have hit that right on the head.
48 points might hold up.
Only 2 minutes left to go in this one. Kenton doing a great job of continuing to get the clock rolling. At some point, Coach Wireman is going to have to use those timeouts, and you'd imagine he'd probably do it right here if his defense can hold Kenton to a short gain.
They were below 2 minutes now. Would imagine this is the spot where you want to use him. Here's Beasley out to the 30-yard line, and we'll see if Coach Wireman takes a timeout. Indeed, he will. So Shawnee uses their first timeout. We'll take it as well. It's a 1-point lead for Kenton. The Wildcats trying to shut the door on Shawnee here in the 4th. Welcome back. What a contest we have had for you here on WOSN. Kenton with a 1-point lead, 48-47. Wildcats with the football, and as Nate Garlock was just referencing off the air, Kenton has committed 5 turnovers tonight and might walk out of here on the road with a 1-point league win tonight.
Yeah, that's something that you typically wouldn't see. Turnover battles are usually hugely important in games and can be the difference in wins and losses. But -5 tonight are the Wildcats, but they are in great position to walk away with the win.
Here's Johnston with the carry on 2nd down, moving the pile ahead, and is going to have the Kenton Moose 1st down, and they can pretty much bleed out the rest of the clock.
Yeah, that might have done it right there. unfortunately for the Indians, that 2-point conversion that they went for to try to see if they couldn't get themselves the lead, they failed, and that 2 points, or at least that 1 point that they gave up, it may end up being the difference here.
Indeed, and of course it's very easy to look at that and go, well, you should have kicked it.
There's also a lot of other things tonight too.
Right,
yes.
right. As you know, it never comes down to just one play. There's a series of things that could have gone differently that would have had a different outcome, and you can torture yourself talking about that stuff. There's a nice stop there on first down.
Actually, I keep saying -5, but we forget there was just an interception thrown by Caleb Bacom, so actually it's only -4.
Right.
And that turnover that Kenton forced here at the end of this fourth quarter ends up being the biggest one of the game, as it allows Kenton to bleed this clock, and you see Shawnee take their second timeout.
Yep, Indians take their second timeout. They'll stop the clock with 58 seconds to go, and it is not out of the realm of possibility for Shawnee to get this ball back, but they are going to get it back with very little time left on the clock.
Yeah, if you're Kenton right now, you just want to protect the football. You're not really even concerned about picking up the first down. If it happens, great. If the hole opens up, go for it. But no more turnovers. Just protect it. Get the yardage. And, if you end up having to give it back to Shawnee, they'll have it back with just mere seconds left.
I was going to say, I would imagine probably less than 10 seconds left. That is, of course, if they can stop them from getting a first down. And here's Beasley, and Beasley is stopped. And Coach Wireman will call his final timeout with 53 seconds to go.
So let me ask you this. You're Kenton, right? And you know the success that you've had this entire game. You know what you do well. You know what Shawnee has struggled with. You know what? We can seal this one away right now. They're going to sell out on the run. Let's go over the top. Now you don't complete it. You give Shawnee a lot of time and they don't have to use their – they may have actually just used their last timeout, excuse me. So they're out of timeouts, but you're giving them 50 seconds left to work with. Or do you just try to run it, they stop it, no big deal, and you move on?
Well, here's how I look at it. The end zone for me in that case starts at the 14-yard line, because if I can get a first down, that's it.
That's it.
The
You're
game's
100%.
over. So I've got that extra 14 yards for myself to play with. If I can just get that marker, then absolutely. And I can seal the deal with that. I don't need to put points on the board. I just need to get there. So I wouldn't necessarily just run the play just to run the clock. I would try and hit that spot, because I know it's ball game if I do. If I don't, I can probably get 2 shots at that, I think. No, I don't. No, I wouldn't. And, hey, if Shawnee can go 90 yards in 10 seconds, good for them. They're going to down it.
And that's
actually
will be it, won't it? Because now it brings up fourth down with the play clock.
No, there's a 11-second difference between the play clock.
So they're going to have
and
to run
clock.
it. If they don't pick this up, Shawnee, like you said, will get it. It'll be less than 10 seconds left to go here. No reason to run any risk. If you get beat with something big here, then, unfortunately there's –
I mean, you could run around and do something and just try and take a little more. Yeah. I mean, because you can run around and bleed 5-6 seconds more off the clock.
And maybe that's what Kent wants to talk about. Hey, we don't have to just take this knee, wait, and eat as much time as we possibly can before we get taken down.
Yeah. Yeah, because then it just becomes a game of keep away at that point, where you can still make a forward pass if you want to. And, of course, the big thing is you don't want to throw an interception. Welcome back. You don't want to throw an interception. You don't want to create a situation where Shawnee can just take a pick and run it back for a touchdown.
Exactly.
But, these are the situations where teams that are, going to the playoffs, or teams that are competing for league titles and things like that, they've got a lot of this stuff worked out. When you're 1-9, when you're 2-7, when you've struggled so much, when you've had so many things that just haven't come together, these are the things, and we've seen this in this game tonight, where you think, this is usually pretty straightforward, but when you've had the season these two teams have, there is nothing straightforward about these final 10 seconds.
No, especially with the way that tonight's gone, too. I mean, we've seen so many crazy things happen. Until this thing is at zeros on the clock, I don't know anybody that's going to take a deep breath and be like, okay, we're done.
Right. 10 seconds to go, 4th and 15. Just going to try and bleed the clock as much as they can, but they'll take a shot at it, try and put it in, and that's going to be incomplete. It will be Shawnee football with 3 seconds to go at the 28-yard line, and the Indians will get one more chance. Unless, of course, they've got some guy there on the sideline that can kick an 85-yard field goal. Shawnee has recently won a soccer state championship, but I don't think they've got that on the sideline.
Well, I think this is one of those spots where, hey, you've been able to get behind the defense. You got to think, obviously, Kenton's going to drop a lot of guys back and try to keep everything in front of them.
Right.
It's okay, do we try to take the big shot and just try to make some guys miss on the back end, or are we just going to, see the lateral after lateral after lateral and just try to keep this thing going as long as we possibly can? You only have time for one play. There will be nothing else. This will be the last play of the game no matter what. Well, I guess
barring a defensive penalty.
Defensive penalty.
Just cover all the bases.
Yeah, right. Never mind. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Here we go. Let's see what's in the back of the playbook. Well, we're going to have a timeout. Kenton wants to talk it over. Coach Zach Turner wants to see how Shawnee was going to line up. So a timeout, final 3 seconds of this one. Well, I'll tell you what, with everything, it has been a blast to bring you this contest. And, of course, it is only because of the generosity of folks like you watching at home that we are able to continue to bring you these broadcasts and other ones like this, football, basketball, all the sports that we cover. Our annual campaign is well underway. Our goal, $175,000. That's just a portion of our operating expenses. But all we have ever asked, and you've heard me make this plea on TV many times, all we ask is you pray about what God would have you give and then be faithful and obedient to whatever that is. You can go to axministries.com to donate, or you can stop in the TV station or call in and help us continue to bring you crazy high school football contests just like this one.
Yeah, there's not a lot of plays in the playbook for 3 seconds left, 75 yards to go. So we'll see what they draw up here.
Here we go. Final play. It's going to be J.J. Spiker. Probably looking for a lateral, but in trouble. Not going to have a whole lot. Well, that's a lateral. He's got that going. Plenty of guys behind him, and he is able to stay in bounds and push out of bounds, and Kenton holds on for the win.
It was a lot closer than I'm sure Kenton would have liked that to have been, as Bacon made a valiant effort to get along the sidelines to see if he couldn't break free. He only had one guy to beat, and Kenton was able to get a hand on him and force him out of bounds. A fun game. Look, a lot of scoring, and if you're Kenton and Shawnee, you got to be feeling pretty good about how things were.
We will wrap this one up and give you our Stolly Hustle Award winner. The final tonight, 48-47. Kenton coming away with the win over Shawnee. We'll be back. Welcome back. 48-47, Kenton the final. Time to announce our Stolly Insurance Hustle Award winner. Check out highlights of tonight's Stolly Hustle Award winner on the WOSN YouTube page. Corbin Johnston of the Kenton Wildcats, our Stolly Hustle Award winner. And what a game. Just keyed the entire Kenton offense. And he was a heck of a player tonight.
Yeah, we don't have any stats in front of us, but the numbers that he put up, and he made some great throws. He kept drives alive. He was able to move around on his feet, give his receivers extra time. He's had an incredible career, over 3,000 yards on the season. And, like we mentioned earlier, one of the guys that gets overlooked in the Western Buckeye League, but his numbers are unreal, and he had another great game tonight.
So Corbin Johnston comes away with our Stolly Hustle Award winner as Kenton pulls off the upset on the road here in the WBL. They take care of Shawnee tonight, 48-47. Want to thank our terrific production crew, Wayne Getz, Derek Henry, Kelsey Beimer. Thank you for bringing this one all so that we could bring it to you. The final one more time, Kenton 48, Shawnee 47. For Nate Garlock and our entire WOSN staff, I'm Patrick Hamler saying so long, everyone, from Shawnee.